All right. Hello, friends of Skele Vader, and welcome to another episode of Toy Frenzy. We've got Bobby, we got Oz, and we have a guest today, Ryan Doell, who's showing up again to talk to us about this exciting subject that we haven't talked about yet on this channel, which is X-Men, specifically these Toy Biz action figures that were recently donated to the Skele Vader collection. But man, this has been an insane week. This has been a fun week already, right, guys?
Yeah, I can't even believe it's Thursday already. It felt like we just did a show.
I know.
Some of us just did.
That's right. That's right. Some of us are doing multiple shows every day.
That's true. It's very true.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm in a weird mood, so this might get a little R-rated. Who knows? We'll see.
That's all right.
I'm just kidding.
That's okay if it does. I've been juggling some up and down feelings at work today, so
Okay.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
Good.
But we got a lot of folks in the chat here. Let's see who showed up here. We've got Thanos Copter. How's it going?
What's going on, Thanos Copter? Good to see you, brother.
Good to see you. We got JMax77. Good to see you.
Awesome. Hey, J Mac.
Duchess of Darkness. Welcome to it again.
Excellent. Hey, Duchess.
And then they're chatting with each other here in the chat. The chat is exploding. They're talking about all kinds of stuff. And then I'm going to skip ahead a little bit because HP Brownsaucecraft is here, and he's the fella who donated the X-Men figures. So I'm glad you're here, HP Brownsaucecraft.
Awesome.
Great to see you here. And Hillian Dread, good to see you.
Hey, what's up, Hillian?
And Ronald Embry's back. Fantastic. Man, look at
Glad you
this.
can make it out.
And Gamer Bud, of course. Welcome to it.
Hey, Gamer Bud. Oh, man. Look at that. Just glowing it out there tonight.
And figuratively speaking. All right. We're caught up. I mean, there's a lot of comments in the chat, but we can get to that. We can get those a little bit later. But sure. I want to say special hello to John from Figuratively Speaking, because we were just talking before we went on, right before Ryan got in here, right before we went on the air, and we were talking about your apology video on your channel for not doing your show the other night. And I just think that's really sweet that you're thinking of everybody and want to apologize for not doing a show. And just so you know, like, man, especially this group of friends here online, that we've all kind of met each other through the Toy Frenzy. I think, like, we all understand, man. If something comes up, family comes first, work stuff happens, like, we understand if you can't make it on. So, but I really appreciated that 28-second video that you posted with your apology. That was nice.
Yeah.
And Nolan's here. Good to see you.
What's up, Nolan?
All right. So, all right, we're all caught up, folks. So does anybody have anything exciting to share that they may have found this week?
I mean, I can show off. It's not going to be too exciting. My big thing, like I was telling you guys before, it was supposed to show up today. It won't show up till tomorrow, but that is what it is. However, these did come in very fast, quicker than expected. Gamer Bud and I, Gamer Bud, was that my live or somebody was live? And I ended up finding a really sweet deal on a couple of Masters of the Universe stuff. And got in a Rey Mysterio, but I already opened them, so it's just a blister pack of him here. And then got in Becky Lynch. The man is actually my second one of Becky because I got some custom plans with her. I love the head sculpt and the hair sculpt on it. It's so unique. So definitely going to do something a little bit more with that. But those are my big picks right now for the week. It's not a whole lot. It's Christmas time. Gotta cut it back.
Exactly.
That's right. Can we ask, like, what your plan is for the custom on Becky Lynch?
I was thinking something kind of like maybe a Battleground Tila. And I just want to say right here, I think we hit the big time because, oh, man, we had
2
Well, they
weeks
seem
in
to
a row.
follow me wherever I go.
That's why they're here. They can't resist the and everybody get ready with this hashtag the Dolverine.
Yeah.
Man,
Schnickety,
I
schnickety,
told you it was
schny.
I told you it was going to get rated R today.
Yeah.
I love the
Rated
fact they
X.
come in.
Well, yeah, getting worse for X. Yeah.
Oh
Well, we're going to
man.
be talking about Toy Biz X-Men, so why not the X-Girls show?
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
All right, but so what? So, but we let that interrupt us. What's your plan to customize Becky Lynch with?
Yeah, so I was thinking something like along the lines of like some kind of battleground Tila look. You know,
Oh,
with
that's
like because her head sculpt, if you can get her, her hair has like the braids in it and stuff that she normally comes out to the ring with. And so she's got like more of this warrior-esque look about her. So I really, really appreciate that about her head sculpt. The rest of her body is still pretty much the Tila body, though. You know, she came out around that same time, so there's not a whole lot of difference there. It's mainly that head sculpt that really sets her figure apart. So having an extra one now, as a matter of fact, on my display, she's having some sparring practice with Man at Arms.
Nice.
So, you know, I'll come up with something extra with this because I also got that extra Shira. So I'll come up with something really cool. A little bit of kit bashing and then maybe some paint work in there.
awesome. So does she have the the first wave knees, or does she have the improved knees?
She has the I'm a wrestler, so I have knee pads to cover my knees.
Oh,
She's
okay.
got
That
these
helps.
little rubber knee pads that cover up the janky looking series 1 knees.
Yeah, those
That
are
helps.
always
That
weird.
helps a lot.
Those are always weird.
Yeah, it's super
But
weird.
I'll go ahead and actually open her. You guys can move on, talk about somebody else's picks, and then I'll show her knees off like it's the 1920s in here.
All right. That's funny.
This is why
Rated
the
R.
sex
Now,
bots show
Ryan,
up.
you mentioned. Oh yeah, yeah. Be careful what we say. Be careful what we say. Ryan, you mentioned that you already opened your stuff you got for the week, right?
I already did, but I did order, what is it, 8 new figures today? Because today was the Marvel Legends drop. So they had the 3 packs for the X-Men 275. The set that I'm probably the most excited for, because it's like one of the most iconic ingrained covers in my mind. Because that's when I just started reading comics. So that one's like, I feel like I've been waiting for this for like 30 years for those toys. Now I'm finally getting them.
Nice.
That was like the first Wolverine figure I bought too back in the Toy Biz era, because I saw he was wearing that suit, Wolverine version 3, and I was like, I need that one because of the cover. Yeah, no spoilers. You get your hand out of there, Skele Vader. Get your dirty little hand
I'm just
out of
checking
there.
to make sure something here.
And so I was very excited about that. Plus, I already have the Marvel, like the Toy Biz Marvel Legends Build-A-Figure blob, but I need that new one. I absolutely need it. So that went on for pre-order. And my first Rogue, the Outback Rogue, also went on for pre-order today as well. That Rogue that was my introduction to Rogue before the jacket. So again, it was just one of those things where I was like, that's the Rogue I need. That's the Rogue I've been waiting for years. So I feel like this whole I feel like Marvel Legends has now gotten to this point where they're just making things specifically for me and what I have been looking for. Because all within 1 year, I've gotten Excalibur, and now I'm getting X-Men 275. So they're it's clearly been the year of the dole over at Marvel Legends, and I've had to personally go and thank Ryan Ting on numerous occasions this year of, dude, why are you doing this? Thank you. So it's been awesome. I'm very it's just it's such a I had no problem dropping the coin today.
Wow.
Yeah, that's good. That's cool. I've been watching these new releases come out, and I love it I love seeing familiar versions of these characters. I've spent so much time seeing unfamiliar versions of them or costumes that I'm not used to seeing, and it's nice to see costumes that I read those versions in the comic books. So
Well,
that's
I'm so
very
hard
cool.
on for X-Men that it's like I'm still waiting for like 4 other Rogues to come out, 2 other Nightcrawlers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's just I want every version of everybody because I'm that psychotic about it. Where it's just give me that. And but they're slowly getting there. There's about 3 Wolverines I still really want that I still haven't gotten. I'm gonna keep putting it out there. I got everything else I wanted, so now I got to start like pinpointing certain things I want. So I'll get them.
That's awesome to hear.
I'll get them.
That's just, they're coming your way. They're coming your way.
Oh yeah.
So I've made it.
Bobby,
I got to her knees.
Oh yeah, let's see.
The
creepy
extra skin flap knees. But that's okay, 'cause you get to dress it up. You get to dress it up real nice with these little knee pads here with a big T on them, and we'll see how well it goes back over the skin flap.
The weenus.
So, yeah, you kind of see she has a knee pad that covers that, which, you know, makes it a little bit better looking than just those standard weird, creepy looking knees.
What do you think is going to be more valuable 30 years from now, the weird knees or the regular knees? Neither?
What did they make less of?
The weird knees
for sure.
Because they came out with Wave 1 with Tila and Evelyn. They didn't like reprint those figures at all. And then by the time we got, what was it, Wave 4? Well, She-Ra's got 2 versions of knees, and the Sorceress has 2 versions of knees.
They all do, actually. They re-released Tila and Evelyn. I think those are more rare, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't
they were
know
like
that
they were right at where they were changing them, so they kind of did them because I've seen photos go around that they were out there.
Okay,
but I've never seen it personally myself, but people had them. But yeah,
all right.
But yeah,
well, that's awesome then.
That's cool.
Yeah, well, probably
so
those versions.
Yeah,
because the main versions that came out in bulk were the weird knees.
Yeah.
So like if you get that Wave 1 Tila and Wave 1 Evelyn, or the Marge Simpson Evelyn as I like to call her, if you get that version of Evelyn but with the newer knees, that's probably going to be worth quite a penny.
Yeah.
Yep.
If they are, I don't know. I wonder sometimes about the Origins line. If they'll, I mean, I know that right now, like Triclops, I think is like, pretty pricey out there. But I wonder about the life of this, how these figures will evolve on the aftermarket.
Yeah, I'm not sure. We'll have to see 20 years from now, but who knows?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like everybody's buying them up, though. That's the thing. Kind of like Star Wars with the Power of the Force, too. You know, we all went crazy for
that's
those.
True, yeah.
I probably can't even get rid of them. No one wants
Oh,
them.
I hope
you can.
Oh, really?
I hope
Power of the Force 2 is getting a nostalgic resurgence.
Yeah.
Okay.
You think so? You think so?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
all of us that. So all of us that
I'm only
saw
saying this
them
because I'm starting to see it. Like, they're starting to show up now more prominently at stores, and they're like, they're selling because people are getting that weird nostalgia for it again. Because everyone bought them all, then everyone got rid of them all, and now everyone's going back to them.
Yeah, I got a bunch of Attack of the Clone figures. I just want to get rid of those.
Oh, send them my way. That's like my favorite movie.
Yeah, cool. I mean, they're taking up so much. We were talking. It's like I got to get rid of some stuff so I can have some space. And I got 2 big boxes of Phantom Menace figures and Attack of the Clones, and I stopped collecting after that Star Wars stuff. And I was like, I got to get.
I'd rather be dreaming of Padme. Best line in the movie.
We got that, and I know Ryan's a huge fan of Supreme Chancellor Valorum.
Okay.
That awesome figure from Wave 1, Episode 1.
That's because I'm in the middle of collecting senators right now. So it's
Yep.
I want
You gotta
politics in my Star Wars. So and I need it on my toy shelf as well.
That's awesome. Actually, when those figures, when the prequel trilogy, when the first one came out, our pal here, HP Brownsaucecraft, and I used to go driving around Rite Aids and all the little stores to find those figures. That was my first experience, like as an adult, like consciously trying to hunt down
toy hunting
these figures.
Yeah.
I used to do that all the time. I worked at the movie theater at that time in '97, and when they released that exclusive Jedi Luke Skywalker, I got a box of 50 of them, and I'm like, what is this? I opened it up because I was a supervisor, I was a manager there, and I'm opening it, like, holy crap. So I took like I think it was like 15 of them out of there, and I ended up having to, hand them out, the rest of them, and I sold them all. And this is before eBay. I was trading on that Star. I forgot the website.
You're part of the problem.
No.
What next? Are you swapping now? Have you elevated yourself to swapping figures and returning them? Is that the net?
No. It was a Star Wars site. I'm talking '97 website here, and I can't remember the name of it.
Cool.
But it was like you would trade toys, so you would trade with people. So I ended up trading one of them, and I think it was like a 12-inch Obi-Wan, which I don't have no more. I got rid of that as well. But at the time, I was doing a lot of trading on that site. I forgot what it was called.
Hang on, I'm trying to. It'll probably come to me halfway through the show, because on the Toy Anxiety channel, I do this other little sideshow called Flippin' Star Wars.
Oh yeah.
And I go through like page for page of old Star Wars Galaxy Collector magazines from that time. And they actually talk about the websites from 94 and 95 where people were doing the trading. And now they're talking about email auctions happening for like vintage toys and stuff. And I was like, holy shit. Like, I didn't realize it was like, I remember, because I grew up on a farm. So it was like, didn't have like the internet until like 97, 98.
Yeah.
So and then getting to read these magazines, some of them for the first time, and not really realizing like, holy shit, this whole thing was like prepping us this entire time for eBay and like Facebook Marketplace kind of things and Etsy. Like it's insane. I love it.
Yeah, because I used to use a Toy Shop. Did you ever use Toy Shop magazine? It's like a big newspaper type of magazine.
Oh yeah,
it was pretty thick too. It was from the early '90s, and I would buy stuff. That's where I got that yak face that I showed that last time, and I got it for like $30.
Oh, everyone and their dog has a yak face up here.
Yeah, it's nice.
Send them down this way.
Dog yak face.
Yeah, but yeah,
I think yak face should have stayed a Canadian exclusive for all time. Doesn't matter if it's a Power of the Jedi or a vintage collection. Yeah. It should forever have been a Canadian exclusive just to fuck with people.
I think that would have been the blank from Dick Tracy, and I still need that.
Yeah.
One of my buddies just sold one. He found his at an antique store, complete, $5. It was in a toy bin. Yeah, and he had it for years, and then he just sold it. Oh God, for like well over $1,000. It was awesome.
Yeah, he did. Oh man, that hurts. I wish I could come across something like that.
It's the only Dick Tracy figure I don't have.
I'm not
you get
much.
the Mezco ones?
I'm thinking about it, but it's
Me too.
200. Yeah, $200. I mean, they look. Because I'm a big Dick Tracy fan. I have all the Chester Gould volumes that they came out with IDW or whatever it was.
You bet.
Yeah, it's I remember them
that
announcing
flat top
those.
is beautiful. So is that Dick Tracy. That's a beautiful toy too.
I was just gonna say that like the Dick Tracy's fine and all, but flat top is gorgeous. Like that is a beautiful thing.
I know.
Yeah, they're right out of the comic strips, so that's
right out of the comic.
And the fact that we can all sit around and appreciate that this, because clearly we are all fans of Dick Tracy here, and this ugly character Flat Top, and talk about how gorgeous his toy looks.
It's just
Here,
gorgeous.
I'll show you my dick.
Oh,
Yeah.
See, I told you,
ripping it out
man.
live.
There you go.
I'm still a very much firm believer that Dick Tracy is one of those like very undervalued and underappreciated franchises.
Yes.
Some of the best character, like just the villains are so of their time, but they still like, to me, I still feel like they still hold up because of the time. They don't try to like, they've never tried to modernize Dick Tracy. They've never tried to set him in 2022. They've always kept him in that time. So the villains always worked. It's just always too bad that Warren Beatty owns the rights and won't let anybody touch him to do an animated series or just even another movie. Even though that movie is almost perfect, except for the fact they kill off half his best rogues gallery in the first 5 minutes. But it's great. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah,
it's still
that comic
fantastic.
strip's pretty violent. It's very the movie's great. I remember going to see it at the theater, but I was disappointed. Like he was saying, they killed off the Brow and Little Face and the Rodent, right away. I'm like, why? Shoulders, and I was like, that was weird. And they promoted those characters too a lot on the commercials. So I was like going in there, and I'm like, and then they're gone within 2 minutes.
I remember them being on all the commercials, and I remember them being part of that. Was it McDonald's that had the tie-in?
Yes.
Yes.
No, I don't. Was it? I don't remember.
Was it them or Wendy's?
I'm
starting to feel like it might have been Wendy's.
I can't remember which and I remember like Hostess chips up here in Canada. They also had a thing for Dick Tracy, and I remember those being like common stickers you could get and that kind of stuff. So, Dick Tracy, so good. I'm glad we're talking about Dick. Fuck X-Men, man. Let's talk about Dick Tracy.
Well, I mean,
we got to do it. We got to do a Dick Tracy episode coming up here because I've been noticing whenever I go sifting through the bins, I've been noticing them in there, and I feel like $3, $5, and I always pass. But I loved the few figures that I had back when they first came out. I loved them, and I just love that movie, and so. This talk has really got me thinking, and those Mezco figures are amazing. But that personally, I'm willing to pass personally because I'm a huge Popeye fan, and I passed on those, and I'm just kicking myself afterward. But I'm still
same here.
Yeah,
but I'm gonna get the Boss Fight Studio ones though.
Oh yeah, those are beautiful. Those are beautiful. Oh, here we go. Figuratively speaking, it was McDonald's.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I was actually just looking it up myself to try and find out who had it, but okay.
That reminded me of Deadpool 2 too, Gamer Bud, when you mentioned that, showing the X-Force and then killing them all in 30 seconds. Yes, hilarious. Sorry, Oz, go ahead.
Oh no, it was okay. Like it seems like back in the day, the tie-ins and cross promotions for movie to like fast food chains and stuff like that was just better. Like you had those specialized cups for like almost every movie.
Yep.
So you always, oh man, I had all those like Jurassic Park cups from back then. They were the best. Refused to get rid of them until they all had been used and washed so many times the print completely washed off the cup.
Yeah.
I would have loved it if they did like, remember the old glasses you used to be able to get from like Burger King where it would be like Empire Strikes Back or the Muppet Caper or something.
Yeah.
I would have loved it if Disney did that with McDonald's or Burger King with like Endgame, where you got like all the glasses lined up and it's everyone charging or something. It just would have been like
perfect.
That would have been amazing.
That would have been right. Like something like that would have been really fun. And it's too bad like that Marvel never takes advantage of that. Oh dude, I've got like that's my fine glassware. When I have guests come over, I pull out all 6 sets and I just go, who do you want to drink from?
Oh man, I'm coming up there to have a non-alcoholic beverage with you, Ryan. coming up there.
Yeah,
All right.
we have the McDonald's characters. We have Grimace, and we have the Hamburglar and Ronald McDonald, and we break those out when people stop by.
Yep.
Yeah, I have a Casper, and I have the cereal monsters, and then my Peanuts.
Oh,
nice. When I went to Universal Horror Nights in 2019, I picked up all those retro, like the retro style glasses of like Ghostbusters, Stranger Things, Universal Monsters, all that stuff. I grabbed that whole set. I was like, I hope these don't break getting home. That's a long trip from Florida back to that's coast to coast diagonally. So
right.
But they made it. Everything was good.
Yeah.
Good.
So Ryan, Nolan here, who's also from the Great White North, has said he be like the old Petro Canada glass. What's going on with this? Explain this to us, ignorant American fools.
Petro Canada is one of our gas stations. So they used to do all sorts of crazy, like that, and Shell stations used to have like not just glasses, but it'd be like, oh, fill your tank and get this Sesame Street figure. And that's how I got like my first few Superpowers figures was through gas stations. We had them. That's where the short cards come from on the Canadian short cards of Superpowers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Those were like you fill your tank, spend an extra 99 cents, you get a Superpowers figure. Right?
Wow.
So that's how I got my Superpowers figures as a kid. And that gas station was like right next to my grandma's house. So it was like super convenient.
Man,
right? But
where are our gas promotions like that?
Oh, gas promotions? They don't exist up here anymore either. And I think they have no problem with people paying for gas.
I'd be trying to fill up people's tanks to get stuff like that.
The gas wars are a little different now.
Yeah, a little bit.
Like our gas wars were like McDonald's, like the soft drink wars and the fast food wars. Like the 80s and 90s, I think a lot of people forget how wild they were because it would be like, you're not going to buy from Burger King, are you? When you can have McDonald's. And they would do like all that crazy shit. And same with Coke and Pepsi with the Pepsi Challenge.
Yep.
Right? That was a big thing. And now gas stations were doing it too. You go to one gas station, get like they said, like the cups. We had like what was it? Calgary 86 Olympics cups. All that kind of stuff. It was we had like I kind of missed that I mean the Reagan era is the Reagan era because if it wasn't for that, like it wouldn't be like the chaos. But at the same time, our generation is completely brainwashed and programmed that when we see something, it's like we need that.
Yep.
Yeah.
We hear a certain tune, we see a certain logo, and we just like everything just it's like Bucky, right? We hear at certain numbers and we just start like going, we kill our wallets. Right?
Yeah.
We are trained to spend.
I was going to say, I think everybody right now can relate with that because we're all here for a reason right now.
Well, I say that, I even said it to Craig about Masters of the Universe. It's like I wasn't really going to get Origins. And then they put it back in that original packaging, and nostalgia is such an addictive, hard drug.
It
but
is.
The moment I saw them in the package, and they're in that old package, they're the same size, but they look better, I was just like, now I'm buying things I did not need at all. And I was like, all I wanted was the characters I had as a kid, because, again, nostalgia is a hard drug. We need to feed it. And these were scratching that itch. And all next thing you know, I'm like, why am I getting this? Stop. Slow down. Chill. But then it doesn't help either when it's like, I did the same thing with Ninja Turtles this week too. When they're $12.99 and it's the same ones you had as a kid and they're showing up in the stores and they're under $15, close to 10. It's pretty much. It's like it's like now I feel like this thrifty consumer of like, well, I found toys under $15. I can't say no. I didn't need them, right? Like, I catch myself doing that with certain masters too, right? So now it's just like, so now with Motu, it's like I collect who I had as a kid or who are my favorite toys as a kid, and then I also get the ones that I wanted so much as a kid that the the other
Yeah.
kids at school had that I didn't
Yeah.
have. So now I'm filling that void because it's not like I didn't have enough toys growing up. But
Yeah.
it's at the same time though, it's not only just addictive though, this is fun. I am enjoying this. This is all, and I'm
Right.
as long as I feel as everyone is spending within their reason, and nobody's hurting themselves or other people in order to get them,
Yeah.
then I say
Yeah.
just keep feeding into it and keep having fun.
Exactly.
Yeah. Gamer Bud saying, same. I just wanted Heroic Warriors and Evil Warriors, but then the Horde came out. Now I want Snake Man. I never had or knew of as a kid. It is a drug. I can identify with that, Gamer Bud, because those of you who know me know that I'm just all about the villains. So when Origins came out, I was just going to buy the villains. That's it. I was just going to buy the villains. It helped that I did not like that new He-Man face. So I was like, I'm cool with not having him. I'm cool with not having him at all. And then
Yeah, and then
all the other characters comes out, and then and then I did a trade with Pedro, and he's like, okay, well, all the new figures that come out, I'll send them your way because I now have your Snake Mountain. And now I'm just like, no. And then every time I hold a figure that I didn't think I would ever get, I'm in love with that too. So it's like, I get to, through Origins personally, I get to experience Masters of the Universe as if I was the kid that was able to have all those characters. And
Well,
that's
we're all
that's
old
a
enough.
way,
We can. Yeah. No, I'm totally with you on that, and I think we are all. I believe we're all old enough that we can still remember what that toy aisle looked like in 1983,
Yes.
84, 85,
Yeah.
yes,
and still remember what it's like being a kid and seeing these characters for the first time. Because
Yeah.
I only remember one commercial that got me as a kid where it's like, I need that toy, and it was the Sky Clone.
yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah.
spinning around,
Figure,
knocking everything
spinning
over.
him around, he's knocking everybody. It's like I cannot wait for that re-release, and I'm waiting for Rio Blast. That's another one I really, really want. Such good mustache. Looked like my old man, so it was like the closest thing I had to having an action figure, cool action figure of my dad.
Nice.
And it was super cool. And it's just great to see it in that packaging, and once you see it, you hear it, you hear the commercials, you hear the Filmation logo.
I posted that today on Twitter.
Yeah, right. You did, yeah, and it's sick and disgusting, and I love it.
Yep, me
That's
too.
right.
Yeah,
It's
I said
amazing.
something like I can hear this photo or something like that.
Yeah,
That's right.
absolutely.
It's just ingrained,
Yeah.
it's there.
Right. But I'm
What's the
also a
same
big
thing
fan
about-
of them making new stuff as well, like
Yeah,
growing the line. So
Mhm.
I'm really happy
Yeah.
we're seeing a lot of new things with this as well. So
Yeah.
it helps.
Yeah,
It does
awesome.
help grow it. And man, kids today, they got it good.
We got it real good.
They don't even know
we
because
have
they're spending too much time with their Fortnites.
yeah.
That's
And
not
kids in their
necessarily true. A lot of
Fortnites.
kids still play with toys.
Well, my
Yeah.
son's playing with toys because he made me cry and feel so good when he told me, "Dad, I'm gonna be a toy collector like you," and I cried in
I
joy.
love that.
And then my wallet
Oh,
started
enjoy?
weeping too.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay. Well, it's just like-
so Bobby, we haven't gotten to your reveal yet. What did you
I
get
forgot.
this week?
Well, Motu Origins Cork, I talked to him a lot on Twitter and stuff, and
Yeah.
he asked me for my address, and because he said he was going to send me something, and he ended up sending me this commemorative version of Trapjaw.
Oh,
That's
I love the
amazing.
packaging on those.
I have the Skeletor one. I've had that since they came out, but I never got into this line when they were coming out because I was like, I got all the original figures. I'm like, I don't need a remake of it. Now it's like, oh, I wish I would have had the Trapjaw. And he's like, yeah, happy holidays. And I'm like, that's freaking great. So thanks
That's
to Origin
beautiful.
Cork. Yeah.
Yeah. Big props to Motu Origins Corp. He's one of my patrons. He's fantastic. That just goes to show like how great this community can be. What a wonderful cool gift. I totally passed on those two and saw them in the store.
Yeah, it got me. You know, I've never had anybody that I didn't know personally send me a gift. You know, like that. I mean, that was something really neat. And he's one of my patrons too. One of my first of the three. You are my first. I'll never forget my first. And then and then Gamer Bud as well. So I appreciate it, guys.
Yeah. That's wonderful. I didn't really get anything for myself, but I made some things for myself this week. I was pretty creative this week, which is always good because I kind of need that. But this is one of the, if any of you follow me on Instagram, I posted a preview of this Beastman, and then I posted a video of me painting the 5 villains. So I did Beastman, I did Skeletor and Merman and Trapjaw and Triclops. And I think these turned out pretty good. I wanted them to be kind of like messy and rough around the edges, and I'm pretty stoked about this one.
I love it. Great. Yeah, when I saw you do that video and I watched you do it, I was like, man, these are fantastic. I wish I could do stuff like that.
Yeah, I was actually sitting here at the computer and I was messing around doing all the graphics. As a matter of fact, I was in the middle of making the graphic for this show when it posted. And it was just so very relaxing to like stop and take a look and watch what you were doing. And then like everything came together for the graphic, you know. And
that's awesome.
God, I love that.
Do you ever go around the neighborhood and like start spray painting like the back alleys and the dumpsters downtown and just start painting Skeletors everywhere? You should.
I've been tempted to. I won't say what I have done or what I will do.
Sweet. Perfect. That's it. That's all you need to say. Done and done.
Yeah. But the town I live in, I'm near a larger town. So the town I'm in, if I were to do it here, everyone that has seen me around would know it was me. But but if I were to venture over to the other town, I could probably get away with some stuff over there.
Over in Shelbyville, they don't know who you are. Over in
Shelbyville. Yes, I want to screw with the Shelbyville.
Yes, that's what we need more of.
Take their lemon tree.
That's right. That's right.
The world would be.
So, shall we jump into this box? Because a couple of weeks ago, HP Brownsaucecraft, he dropped this. He came by. He wanted to see the toy room. He lives locally. He wanted to see the toy room. He came by, but he showed up with this thing. He showed up with this, and I was like, I was just floored because I just seen somebody else talk about the Toy Biz figures about a few days before on Instagram or something. So they had been on my mind because I saw them on the shelves. I walked right past them in the early 90s. I walked right past the New Adventures He-Man figures in the 90s too. I just walked right past them like an idiot, but I was thinking about other things. So when he brought this box over, I was stoked. So shall we dig in?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Maybe we should do a thing like
that one. I don't even know what it is. So I'm sorry.
All right, I'm gonna start with a character that I'm not familiar with.
Okay.
Perfect.
Let me reword that I'm not as familiar with.
All right.
All right. So
Whip it out.
This is Banshee.
And
the whistle.
How appropriate too, right?
I just pre-ordered that one today.
Yeah. So it comes with isn't there an image? The sonic scream.
You blow him, and he whistles. That's what
That's
it
a lot
is.
of- Here we go.
I don't know. I don't know how else to pull. I don't know how else to put it. He's a whistle.
Notice they do not have a face doing that on the package.
Yeah.
They just say
Nope.
Fred Benchy's cape, blow on his back, and he will emit a high-pitched whistle.
Yes.
So yeah,
It's it's considered one of like the worst figures I think ever made. But he's one of those characters you need.
Really is.
yeah. Well,
More so if you read the comics. I think he appeared in maybe a couple episodes in the 90s, and I think that's about as far as that went.
I think he was just like 2 episodes in the 90s. Like, because I definitely remember at least one where he was like tearing off of Muir Island, screaming all the way.
Yep.
But
With
he was
Juggernaut
also very
and Gladiator and Eric the Rat.
Black Tom Cassidy, I think, was in that one
Yeah.
too. It was
What year did that figure come out?
I was just
wanna
going
say
to
that
look at that and see.
93.
Yeah, go ahead and guess.
94.
I'm going to say 94.
A little bit more 94.
No, you
That
can
would
only
make
choose
sense.
1 year. Can only choose
Okay.
1 year,
Okay.
not 93, 94. Come on.
I'll go with 93.
It's actually all right. Do you want to know? It's actually
Yeah.
92.
Oh wow.
Really?
Yeah,
92.
92.
Okay.
What?
Well,
Yeah.
that would mean
Get out of
90.
here.
so they released Banshee exactly 30 years later. That's kind of cool, considering it's the
Oh, that's
60-year
fair.
anniversary of X-Men.
It's 60th.
Yeah,
60th
that's
anniversary
another-
of X-Men. But now with this, this means that all of these toys, like the first 3 waves, were ready the first year of the animated series.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
yeah.
That's another reason why I thought it was significant that HP Brownsaucecraft brought these by, because then I got an email from Hasbro Pulse like a week later reminding me that it's the 60th anniversary and next year. So it's like almost like HP Brownsaucecraft knew and was like, here, here's some stuff for you. So
Yeah.
92.
I was already out of high school for a year. Oh man.
I don't want to talk about it there, Bobby.
I don't either.
All right, the next one is Iceman.
Yeah, Bobby Drake was one of the coolest
Yes.
play
Yeah.
features of any toy has ever had, which is an ice cube tray.
That's right.
Yeah, he has an ice cube tray, and it says here
You're
that
meant
after a
for
few
water
minutes,
in it.
after a few minutes in freezing temperatures, Iceman will be covered with icicles. And what it doesn't say is at room temperature he'll be urine yellow.
Yeah, that definitely happened because that plastic yellowed.
Oh man, mine never.
Yeah.
Mine didn't. I don't know why mine didn't. But
They-
he
Yours
was one of
didn't
the
yellow?
ones I found way later. I found him way later though too, so that could also be a thing. I've got one hanging up in my other room right now, and he's also fine. But I make sure he stays out of the sun.
My favorite Iceman, I think, was always I think it was version 3, where he had
Based off
more
Age
of
of the Apocalypse, and
yeah, he looked a little bit more like the AOA version, which that was my favorite X-Men. So,
do you know how
it's really,
that came to be? That version of Iceman. The artist wanted to do different, change how Iceman looked. Marvel at the time was like, no, don't change him. All this stuff. They're like, you change him and we can make more toys of him. And that's how that came to be. So they were able to do that one with the spikes coming out. There's the other one with the Water Wars one where he's just a tower of snow.
Yes.
Right? So they did, that's how that one came to be, because they just pitched the idea of you'll make more money because you'll sell more toys.
That's right. That's right. And I like that it was in
want-
that time too. The Toy Biz was changing a lot of the tooling of the characters too, because like early on they were all that very basic, very superpowers-esque style, which there was nothing wrong with. Don't get me wrong. That's a beautiful Iceman figure. But you know, I liked when they started getting into the more unique tooling and like the big, strong characters actually looked big.
Yep.
You know, whereas a Hulk, like the original Hulk, it took forever to come out with another version of Hulk, aside from that one that came with the bar, and then they popped like the two holes in his back.
Well, he needed his own cartoon.
So the thing. Yeah, he needed that.
That's what it took.
There it is, the original. That top part right there, the original lineup. That Hulk was that Punisher Hulk right next to him.
Yeah, that Hulk is beautiful. That's really cool. I love that it says down here. I didn't really get a close look at the freezable stand. I love that they describe it as a freezable stand, and it's got like you were right, Ryan. It's got like a little pool here. You can fill it up with water, and that'll like hold his feet in place, I suppose. What a cool thing!
Yeah, it is pretty cool.
It's super silly, but it's cool.
Mom always got mad because I started getting water all over the living room, all over the carpet. He was cool for all of 10 seconds.
Oh, what year? What year, guys?
He's got to be 92 then as well, like 91, 92.
Yep.
Because if it's got the original
92.
lineup on the top of Marvel superheroes. Yep.
Now we're entering into slightly different territory.
There it is.
We
Wave
got
1
Cyclops here.
That was my Cyclops.
And this is, and I say slightly different territory because it's a year later, 93.
Oh, so that's then a re-release. Because this is the first wave of X-Men. He's the first. He's part of that first wave with like him, Nightcrawler, Storm, the Wolverine with removable mask and popping claws, and the bench pressing, curling Colossus.
Oh, so you got both versions of them.
Yeah, the
version 2 is amazing.
Is this one is version 2?
Yeah, that one's version 2, and he lit up. He did his optic blast, and it was the one that we see in the cartoon. Nothing against the X-Force costume, because it's always cool to get those extra costumes. But man, that version 2 Cyclops, great toy. It looks so good.
Yeah, this is
just
awesome.
Want to take a minute to welcome Mega J Retro to the chat here. Toy Biz, Toy Biz, Toy Biz.
What's up,
Absolutely.
How's it going, Mega J?
The best. Mega J.
Gotta love it when we get Mega J Retro in the house.
Action figure with light up visor and Cerebro backpack computer.
Nice.
That's right.
And they had to put the word computer in quotation marks so no one would get confused. It's a computer.
Yeah, it's just Did it get Wi-Fi?
Oh, man.
I wonder.
Yeah, it gets Wi-Fi.
Got that really early janky Wi-Fi that ran off of your, mobile briefcase cell phone.
Oh, that's why the backpack's so big.
That's right.
And this one this is also a Cerebro computer too. I didn't realize that. They each have their own version of a Cerebro computer.
Was that their way of being like, we don't need to release a Jean Grey because we have a Cerebro computer?
I think they were under the assumption in these early waves that female action figure toys just did not sell. Yeah, because it took a little bit.
Like, we were lucky enough to get Storm. We did get Phoenix, and we got Rogue. But man, we never got Jubilee. We never got. We didn't get Jean until like a Jean Grey Jean Grey. Like
Proper Jean until Water Wars, wasn't it?
Nope, it was not even that. It was the Onslaught series.
Yeah, you're right. It was. Oh man, I missed that Onslaught toy too. Oh, I love that thing. He had the cover that went over him, and he had like the little bubble in the back, and you could see Xavier inside of him. Oh, I love that toy.
It's funny you bring up the Water Wars line because the Nightcrawler that's in that line where he's got the goatee and the buzz head.
Mm-hmm.
I want Marvel Legends team now to make that Nightcrawler so bad.
Has Legends done a Nightcrawler from AOA?
And I love it. Nope, I haven't done that one yet either. We've only gotten one Nightcrawler from this team. We've never before the Nightcrawler before this from Marvel Legends was from Toy Biz.
Right.
Back in the early days. Tease. Yeah, and on Tuesday they did tease they're doing another character with a bendable tail, and everyone was losing their goddamn mind when they announced Nightcrawler a few years back now, 2017, and they were just like, "Why does he have a bendable tail?" And it's just like, guys, cool your jets. We're getting Nightcrawler. Like, come on.
I love Nightcrawler was one of my favorites. Definitely one of my favorites. Nightcrawler and Beast. I'm still all about Beast. Love that guy.
Okay, so Cora's coming in here with there was a Toy Biz Jubilee. Yes, but we got two Toy Biz Jubilees. One was with the Danger Room set, and the other one was with Generation X. But we never got that like yellow trench coat, pink top, glasses that we saw in the animated series. We never got that out of Toy Biz. That's what I'm saying. But you are correct. I just want to make that clear, Cora. You are very correct.
Yeah, I remember the Generation X wave, or when they started coming out with those, and I was just like, "Oh, finally!" And then I was looking at that version of Jubilee, and I was like, "But that's not exactly mine," because she had the Gen X costume with the yellow coat, and I was just like, ugh.
But she had rollerblades, and that was awesome.
She did. More toys need to come with the rollerblades, by the way.
You know what? I honestly blame Nightcrawler for the fact I did become a toy collector, because the X-Men is where I went from like playing with toys to collecting toys. And because when I was starting to get into comics, and as soon as I discovered Excalibur, that's when I became like a lifelong reader, where I was like, that's it. This is my life. I collect comics till I die, and I have stuck to that so far. And because that first wave had Nightcrawler in it, which blew my mind, that we were getting a Nightcrawler toy, just as I was getting into Excalibur so hardcore, that was it. It was game over.
Well, I think this is great here too, because I think we all have this huge appreciation for Nightcrawler, because Cora was just saying that she had a Nightcrawler, and Thanos Copter was mentioning that, Thanos Copter, or that Nightcrawler got him. I like Nolan jumping in here with the Colossus comment that came up.
We want to go back to that one in just a little bit.
Okay, we're gonna hide that one then.
Spoiler.
Well,
spoiler.
I don't know how he knew. How did you know, Nolan? Like, Nolan wrote, "Got a Colossus in your box. Did you see me pull it out or something?" Maybe he saw me pull it out. That sounds bad.
Well, there it is.
Pulling out the Colossus, out of the box.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I'm telling you. We started something here tonight.
I do want to address.
And this is what you get.
Nice. I do want to address Thanos Copter's question. They did make an 80s kitty, but it's Shadowcat. It's her in the blue. So we have that. Then that's it. With Kitty, I would make this is why I don't get to work for Hasbro, because I'd probably do one wave of just Kitty Pryde, and the Build-A-Figure would still be Kitty Pryde. Toy Biz made a few Sabretooths.
Yeah. Yeah, you had that wave one where he looked like he was straight out of the Daredevil comics. Then they did.
He squeezes his legs and he opens his mouth.
Yep. Yeah, you did the version 2 where he looked like from the animated series, and then they did that version 3 one, which then they did a later repaint of and used the same thing for Wolverine in his Weapon X from Age of Apocalypse. Yeah.
The best one was when they did the X Factor version. So he had like the bigger hands, and they actually put like faux fur on his back, and
yeah,
that was probably my favorite Sabretooth that they made. I also love Kitty. Do you know what my dream Kitty Pryde figure is? It is her in her winter coat, and she's just pointing, going, "Professor Xavier is a jerk."
yes.
That is the Kitty Pryde figure I want, and I want that figure so bad. I need that figure.
Are you listening? Are you listening, Hasbro?
We all know Hasbro's listening. They follow wherever Dole goes. Like I said, this whole
that's so true.
all the drops they just did were all little love letters. We love you, Ryan. We love you, Ryan.
Yeah, it's true. It was.
Yeah. Look at this dumbbell. Like, here's a treat for you. He can lift his dumbbell for you.
Yeah,
But,
it wasn't.
This character.
It's a great look. I think it's a good looking figure, like for the time and for it being a first Colossus figure.
Yeah.
I just find it really unfortunate
go.
that his hands are always kind of stuck, like he's gonna tip something over. He's gonna be flipping semi trucks.
Yeah, very, very limited, but I love the aesthetic of it. It's very cool.
Yeah.
93 for this one too.
Yeah, I remember these because I worked at Toys R Us in '93, and the X-Men figures were real popular.
Oh, they were huge at the time.
Yeah.
Yep. They were.
I remember them.
How
I was part of that problem.
Yeah. While we're on Colossus, would any of you and in the chat too, if they, like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Playmates is putting out basically the vintage figures. If we were to get this line again, or several figures from this line again, using the same molds as before, the same figures, would you all be on board for this?
No, because it'd probably be cheaper on card at a garage sale or at a toy show than they would be if they got re-released.
Yeah, I'd much rather buy them from, because they are right now significantly cheaper. Those are the cheap buys that you can do when you go to like toy shows and stuff like that. Are Toy Biz era. They're starting to come up a little bit, but they're still significantly cheaper than most properties. But we are kind of seeing that in a way where it's not exactly the Toy Biz look, but they're doing that like 4-inch or 3 3/4 scale Secret Wars style figure look. And I do kind of dig those. And I like the fact that they are cheaper. This is the one time that somehow Hasbro has released something cheaper than like what Super 7's doing with their reactions. Like reactions are $17.99 and those figures are like $13.99.
Yeah.
Or 54 whatever in Canada.
Yeah. Right.
This is the Sabretooth we were just talking about. He squeezes his legs and his mouth opens.
Beautiful figure. I think that one still holds up, to be honest.
It really does. When it comes to the Toy Biz Sabretooths, that one was my favorite. Of course, I had the original one with the claw chest mark thing that looked like it came out of Daredevil. And as much as I like that, and I don't really knock it because that version of Sabretooth battled against my Wolverine plenty when I was that young. But I always wanted this one more, and that one evaded me more than any other toy. That one and the Venom with the talking backpack, where they eventually took it off the shelves for saying, "I will eat your brains." Can't have a kid's toy saying it's gonna eat brains.
Oh man. This is this face sculpt is really great. There's just flesh colored paint on there, but if you look closely, it's a really great face sculpt. It almost looks a little bit like Ron Perlman, you know, Hellboy, the first Hellboy. It looks like Ron Perlman.
But even just the body, like the proportions and everything, are just like it's spot on.
It really is. And if you got that version 2 of, well, even if you got the version 1 of Wolverine with the removable mask, but the version 2 Wolverine, it's scaled well proportionately to their sizes in the comic as well, which I really like. Like, again, this is when they were changing that sculpt.
A little tall.
Well, Sabretooth, yeah, a little small compared to like that V2 Wolverine, but that V1 Wolverine was real short comparatively to these later Toy Biz figures that were coming out. So he's still, in my mind, that V1 really worked.
Yeah. I like
1993 for this one.
Yeah.
So now we'll move into the villains. No, we'll do one of the 3 Wolverines. How about that?
Sure, you gotta have Wolvie right after a Sabretooth drop.
Yeah, this is the one you were just talking about.
Yeah.
The orange and brown, the removable mask, the katana.
But the mask you could also reuse as a ring.
Yes, you could, because I did.
There you go.
There it is.
I definitely did. I was like, I got my Wolverine ring. And that's also how I lost his mask, too.
That would do it. I don't know. I like that figure. It's charming.
Yeah, it was definitely one of my favorites for a long time.
His face sculpt is really great too.
These were big. This was kind of like, because at this point, like Toy Biz just lost Batman to Kenner, and they got the Marvel licenses. And to me, I always felt like the X-Men were like Toy Biz's FU to losing that license.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. His I never noticed this until just now, but his blades on one hand come out a little bit further back, like this. It comes out of this part of the wrist, and then this hand, it comes out where they're supposed to come out, like here.
Well, I think it was because they had to. I think it was due to the fact of how they had to position the arms, because you remember the one hand they kept so he could grip his sword.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here, I'll full screen you there. Really show that guy off, because, again, like that other Sabretooth, to me, this figure still really holds up as an awesome, awesome figure. Loved that Wolverine so much as a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, this guy's great. I'm surprised no one's done like. I wonder if anybody's done like serious jewelry based on this, like real jewelry.
Oh, I'm sure they did somewhere in the. There's probably a pewter ring of it somewhere from the late '90s that exists.
Oh God, yeah, yeah. Well, there's always one way to tell.
Yeah, look it up.
That someone still has the stains on their finger today.
Yeah.
All right, now we're moving into the villains. We've got Juggernaut.
I had that figure. I love it.
Oh yeah,
I still do.
Definitely had that one myself. Again, that was my version of Juggernaut. I didn't get that later, bigger, beefier version. I always had this one.
Yeah, I always had that one too.
So,
I later got like the Joe Mad style one when they did the light up heroes.
Okay.
Had, like,
yeah.
The Psylocke and the Gambit, Nightcrawler.
I wanted that.
I think I got that whole wave. I think that was the first time I ever really completed a full wave. But that Juggernaut was small. This one was like nice and big and beefy.
Right.
There's Nightcrawler there. Archangel. That was another figure everybody had.
Yes.
Since you brought up Gambit, I remember when I was working at Toys R Us, people were saying it was like a chase figure or like one per box or something. Is that true?
I don't know. I got 2 of him on card.
Yeah.
So, but it's funny. I got from the illustrious Tony. No, not Tony. From Tokyo Toy Town. My buddy Jay Key. He got me a bunch of these figures from Japan.
Okay.
So it's got the Japanese logos and all that kind of stuff on it. Super cool stuff. And I got one of the Gambits. But I've never heard of him being 1 per case. I was certain Rogue was 1 per case.
Okay.
But if he was 1 per case, I actually wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, because I remember, because since I worked there, I had a bunch of guys come up there every so often asking me for him, and I'd always have to go in the back and dig out all the boxes and look for this damn figure. And I never found him.
I don't necessarily think he was 1 per case, but he was a very popular, in-demand figure. Everybody wanted Gambit.
Yeah.
Rogue, on the other hand, was 1 per case because, again, there was this mentality of the female toys don't sell to the boy collectors. Like, it really was like that. That's why you didn't get as many.
Okay. Yeah, because I just remember them asking for him specifically and saying that, and this is a few guys, and saying that, you know, they were specifically looking for Gambit and it was 1 per box or something. It always stuck with me, and I never looked into it. But now that we're bringing these up today, I just thought about it, and I just wanted to confirm or not.
I'm going to have to message Jesse Falcon and ask him.
Yeah, definitely. Get the confirmation on it, because that would be neat to find out.
And that's why I hate Ninja Turtles, because all the brats would ask for those, and I have to dig out of the boxes too.
Oh,
you got
really?
Leonardo?
I just remember this one lady. She would say, my son's here, and they pulled out the little booklets that come with the figures and stuff, and he needs this one. And I was like, I don't know if we have that. And I always look, because I remember looking for figures when I was a kid.
Bless her. Bless her for doing that.
No,
as opposed
because
to like going
when
in
I
there
told
and
her,
not knowing.
Because I went back there, I opened up every box for the kid. And I went back and I told her, we don't have one. And she yelled at me, you have it back there. You got to get it. And I'm like, I don't have one. I looked for it. So that
the
always
ever popular I'm spiting you customer attitude.
Yeah, like that's why people that's why she probably thought you were lying, because she probably is such a shitty customer that no,
I was
does get
I was back there for like 15 minutes opening up all the boxes.
Skelly, I put you full screen up because you were comparing your Ram Man to the Juggernaut.
Yeah.
And now I kind of want to I think I need another Juggernaut or two. Or maybe a Goldberg or two.
Yeah. I feel like I'm not going to open it, but if I were to open it, I see a photo opportunity here just waiting to happen.
For sure. I think so. I think Ram Man would try to hit him and just fly off.
Yeah.
I want modern Marvel versus Capcom toys so bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, what was do you guys know the year on? Can you guess the year on Juggernaut?
He's got to be a 91 as well, because he was in that first wave of villains.
Yeah.
What was it?
91.
Apocalypse, Magneto, and Juggernaut.
Yep. That's it.
Yeah, I had all 3 of them, and then later I got Sauron and Saber. I had everything that was in the X-Men Hall of Fame, and well, it's because my parents bought me that X-Men Hall of Fame, and then I got so mad because I could not play with any of the figures. Oh man, we're getting a double whammy tonight. Hold on.
Yeah.
Get rid of that.
I got just blocked.
Got him.
So you just mentioned Magneto. So here's Magneto. And again, this is something we're not going to.
Magneto.
This is something we're probably never going to see again in toys, which is unfortunate. But the Spark action.
Yeah.
Oh, is that that's the
yikes.
Spark version, not the Magnet version? Oh, hold on. Okay, so that's version 2 of Magneto then. Version 1, he had
This
the
is
little magnets and they stuck to him. Yeah, I can
this
see
one.
on the bubble on the front, it's got the Sinister Wave and everything like that. No, it's not that one. That was the original one. If you turn it around back to the front,
Yeah, it's a
or
magnet.
yeah, the one that shoots the sparks was V2, where they made him a little bit beefier.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, they beefed him up a little because that's also, again, you see the Sauron, the Sabretooth, and then the Mr. Sinister as well. Yeah. I enjoyed that
That's awesome.
Magneto, but I also kind of liked that first. I had that very first one, and man, did he help me find so much little metal crap in my carpet.
Yeah.
You put Magneto to work.
Oh, he was working it. He was drawing all the little staples and other things that fell to the ground. He's
It's better
picking
than
it
your
up.
foot.
Yeah, way better than my foot.
Yeah, I know the characters. I'm just not into the toys. I don't know too much about the figures anymore. About the
I
X-Men
love that
stuff.
Sinister.
Yeah, this guy's pretty
Yeah,
great.
that's a good figure.
Yeah, he again also one of my absolute favorites as a kid. And he really lives up to his name. He is so twisted when it comes to the villains.
Well, because he's like a bioengineer, right? So
Right. His his obsession with, because he himself is not a mutant. He experimented on himself and gave himself powers based off of the mutant genes. Because
correct.
he was obsessed with evolution and the mutants. Like his backstory leads all the way back to Darwin. And he was just like a very much more in-depth version of Darwin. And one of the greatest episodes, and I have no idea how they ever managed to put that episode of the classic X-Men cartoon. It was released at the very end of the series, but it has to be one of the most graphic and crazy episodes of X-Men or a cartoon in general, because they actually had Jack the Ripper in in there.
Oh, right.
And
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you come into one of his one of the scenes of him killing somebody. I mean, they couldn't do the
Whoa,
blood or
really?
anything like that, but it totally
Right.
it was in a cartoon. And I think that's probably what spawned my love of serial killers. So, or
that's
I don't want to say
funny.
love.
You can
That's
trace
a really bad phrasing. My obsession
Yeah,
of serial killers.
yeah,
That
yeah,
sounds just as bad. Yeah.
Yeah, we study that
yeah.
as well here at my
Almost
house.
worse.
It is.
There you go.
But it's fascinating though. You know, I think it's more fascinating because you're like, why do they do that? You know, what
Why?
draws them to do
Yeah.
that shit? Yeah.
How do I get there?
Mr.
Yeah.
How did what inspires him? What inspires him to do that?
Well, that's the weird thing, you know.
like
we'll be talking, and then we be, someone asks us, and be like, "Oh, that's that guy that did this, this, and that." Well, how do you know that so fast? You know, it's like, well, we reread them.
Yeah.
It's like, let me tell you about a little guy called H.H. Holmes.
Oh man,
That's
the guy
right.
from Chicago guy.
Right?
Yeah, that's right. So, is he wearing makeup?
No, his skin changed to that color.
Come on.
And he sharpened down his teeth. He has a gem in his forehead that helps, was it give him psionic powers, or it helps him block psionic powers? I don't know how his powers are playing out these days and what he can do, because they change it frequently, but it makes sense for the character,
Well,
because
it makes sense
again,
for the
he's
story
always
that they're telling.
yeah. I actually
He's
think like
definitely
one of the Go ahead.
He's sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, you go ahead. This
Yes,
is your unboxing.
this is exactly what I was going to say. He started a
Well,
goth band.
We all know he was the inspiration behind Depeche Mode, so
Yeah, yeah. This guy. I could see him. I could see him. You know, singing frontman for a death metal band, Norwegian black metal.
Black metal. Yeah.
oh, absolutely. And the
I hope so.
ultimate version of Sinister, like when they started doing the Ultimate comics, still has one of my most favorite lines of all times, because in that one he's like, again, he's obsessed with Apocalypse and bringing his lord to life. You find out he's like in just completely bat crazy insane, but he actually invades the X mansion at one point by himself, only him, and he's wheeling Professor X around in his wheelchair kind of thing, talking with him. And he goes, and I am going to introduce you to your greatest enemy, or I can't remember exactly how he worded it. And Xavier's like, what do you mean? And everybody thinks he's going to like drop the Apocalypse name or something like that. And he goes, the stairs, and just dumps him out of his wheelchair.
Whoa, that's awesome. That's
Like,
dark.
he is single-handedly responsible for so many epic moments.
So you mentioned Apocalypse, so I thought I'd. Yeah, I love the face sculpt on this guy too.
Yeah, he was another fave of mine. Because I really, really enjoyed his character a lot. He had that whole Extendar gimmick, which really, really was fun. And one of the other things that I enjoyed later versions of him as well, but this was the one that I had. I actually didn't get the later versions of them. I did eventually get the Age of Apocalypse version, but man, I played with that one nonstop. Those hoses broke off so quick.
My favorite sculpt of Apocalypse that Toy Biz ever did was the one from the Onslaught line, where he had all the wraps around the hands, and he was huge. He came with Ozymandias.
Ozymandias. Yep.
It was that was a great figure.
Yeah, it was gorgeous, and he was massive too. Like, he didn't look big because of the way they sculpted him, but he was huge compared to like everybody else of the line. I'm surprised they even put Ozymandias in with him.
Yeah, I like that. They gave him a companion ghost, as we would say in the Ghostbusters lore.
Everybody was doing it in the 90s. Ninja Turtles all had companion characters.
Yeah,
I'm bringing him up close. Sorry, I'm bringing him up close because you can't see it, but his eyes are pointing two different directions, which is really cool.
Right?
Stuff like that makes me really happy. Sorry to interrupt.
It's the Dolverine's greatest enemy, Derpocalypse.
Yeah, no kidding.
Which way did he go? I can't see him.
Thanos Copter was asking if we've been reading the new X-Men books, and I definitely have been. Been reading X-Men. I read all the Teenie Howard stuff that she did for Excalibur. I want to get Lee Williams' new book as well, The Exterminators. I'm waiting for trades on that. Plus, I love everything that they do with the Hellfire Gala. I love that stuff so much. But yeah, no, I've been reading all that stuff. Trying to keep it's so hard because it's like the 90s again, where there's like 8 different X-Men books at one time. But I'm definitely trying to like space them out and just try to catch up. And I think they're already teasing, like, it sounds like the fall of Krakoa is on the horizon from the teases, but I could be completely wrong, and I really hope that I am. Because I love this. I love what current X-Men is doing right now. I love it so much.
They've had a lot of really good stuff going on. I myself haven't collected it, but I talk about it with several of my friends and kind of keep a little bit more current. I'm quite a bit behind right now, but I saw a tease with Kitty Pryde today that definitely took me right back to like 70s Kitty Pryde with Wolverine. Um, who's she fighting? Ogun? Like he's come back or something? Like it's a preview or a tease for an upcoming issue they got coming out.
Okay.
And yes, somebody posted it where she's having this nightmare where Ogun is like slaughtered everybody and Wolverine's sitting in front of him beaten. And then like he's taunting Kitty saying he's gonna have her back. And then she's like, no, and she tries to phase and she can't, and then he just cuts Wolverine's head off. Crazy. I can't wait to read that because that was some of my favorite storyline when Wolverine's in Japan and Kitty's out there with him. You know, again, great team up. Long before he ever had the relationship with Jubilee.
Right. Yeah, he's always been a mentor to the teens.
Yeah, that's the best version of him for me.
The second edition.
Yeah, I liked the well, no, the first edition of the toy was the best version of the toy for me. This one was good too. But when he is that mentor of the teenage youth, because he's not the person you would think of to look up to or behold as a role model, and yet he's done it for so many different young teens throughout the years.
Well, that's because like we all gravitate towards Wolverine, right? So it always makes sense to have the new teen hero kind of buddy up with him. But Jubilee was also buddying up with like Gambit and stuff too a lot in the comics. Like there's
she did.
So much good stuff. Yeah, see, yes, thank you. Yeah, a little behind. There's a lot out there and enjoying it. That's from Thanos Copter. Dude, I am 100% with you. It's hard to keep up because I think I'm behind on like New Mutants. I know I'm behind on Marauders. But there is, and they keep going back to number ones, like as Marvel does as well, which makes things confusing. God, I hate it when they do that because you'll be like at volume 3 of the storyline, and then all of a sudden you go back and you're like, wait, I'm looking at 2 volume 3s.
Right.
Where did I leave off? Son of a gun. I hate. Happens a lot.
But I
love these illustrations.
Yeah.
Me too.
And because he had the little like thumb bracket on the back, so you could make him do that.
Yep.
That swivel.
Yep.
Now the art show that's coming up here at the beginning of January, where I'm going to be showing my playset builds and my masters paintings, and we're also going to be showing some of my vintage figures back here. But the other guy that's in the show, he's doing Wolverine paintings on their ink on glass, and they're like gorgeous and big and delicate. But they're really cool. He's a huge Wolverine fan. He also is going to be exhibiting his comic, his pretty like astounding comics collection too.
Cool.
That's great.
But yeah, I've always loved Wolverine, and I didn't really like. I know this might piss some people off, but I'm not a huge fan of the X-Men movies. But Hugh Jackman in Logan, just awesome. Logan's an amazing movie. I'm
kind of annoyed they're bringing him back again. It's kind of like
yeah, I don't know how I feel about that either.
I want them to I kind of just want them to recast him, someone shorter, like a lot shorter.
Yeah,
I'm tired of Wolverine being the same height as Colossus. Let's go back to the roots here.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Taller than Cyclops, you know.
Yeah, taller than Jean. What's going on here?
Isn't that right? He's supposed to be this short, hairy, unloved Canadian. Gives all of those guys hope, you know.
Who would you all cast as the new Wolverine?
I still say Danzig from like
That's what I was saying.
1993
Oh,
Wizard Magazine
yes.
Dreamcast
Yeah.
was dancing.
Yeah.
It stuck with
He had
me
the
ever
beard
since.
going, or
He had the chops,
yeah,
and he had the build, and he was like 5'2". It was perfect.
yeah.
Talk
Do you guys
about
have a show? We have a show up here. I don't know if you guys get it up here, or get it down there. It's a show called Letterkenny.
Yes, it's a Hulu exclusive down here.
Ah, okay. So it's a Canadian iconic show. The lead character who plays Letterkenny is he's my pick.
I
Because
could see that.
he's got that Canadian gruffness, wanting to
Uh-huh.
fight, wanting to drink,
Always.
ain't got no time. He doesn't have to talk like Letterkenny, because Letterkenny has a particular style of speech. But I think he would. I just like the idea of a Canadian playing Wolverine, as opposed to Canadians playing everybody else except Wolverine.
Well, we could go with
Right.
Bruce McCullough from The Kids in the Hall.
Yeah. Oh my God, how great would that be?
Yeah.
I mean, I really think they would, and it's funny that they ended up going with Hugh Jackman, because like it was almost like they went ahead and watched that pilot episode for Pride of the X-Men, and they were like, we got to pick an Australian to play Wolverine, because, you know, for no
She's
reason
just
at
a
all.
kid.
Speaking of, here we go, V3
Yep.
of Wolvie.
There it is.
One of the
my
best.
boy right there. Yeah.
And the re-release that is just coming out as well, by the way.
Toy Biz Marvel Legends did a version of this. They did it as a 2-pack with Forge. It came out at the near the tail end. Awful head sculpt. I'm just gonna say it. I don't care. I'm sorry if the sculptor is listening to this episode. Was not a fan. I never bought that one, but this new one that Hasbro's about to knock out looks amazing, and I can't wait. And I love these suits. I always love the matching suits. When they came out with him, I thought they were going to do everybody else, but then I realized there's too many women on the team that they're not going to do it.
Right. Until like now, which is really awesome.
Until now. Now we get like everybody.
Yeah,
right?
now they just don't care.
This guy, he's got the same eye problem.
Yeah, some of the paint jobs do, but that's it's part of the.
I love it.
It was how they were back then. You know,
I love it.
Now, one of the funny things about that version of the toy is that I didn't actually have that toy, but I had Morph with that head.
With the Wolverine head, yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because the Morph figure came with like a regular head, for good Morph. He had the evil Morph head, and then like for some reason the only other head they packed in was the Wolverine head.
No, and Cyclops. Cyclops was the other head.
Right. They did have the Cyclops head too. That's right, because I lost that one because I did not care. I was not a fan of that Cyclops.
I think it's like I can always tell who didn't read a lot of comics by how they feel about Cyclops, because he's boring in the cartoon, he's boring in the movies.
Yeah.
And then in the comics, he's so layered, and like he's got his insecurities, and he's got the shit that he's confident about, which is like banging whoever he wants. I think that's the one thing I love about X-Men, is that there's like this, it's like a mix of social politics and who's banging who, and you mix those two together, and it's just like peanut butter and chocolate. It's just
it's an immediate soap opera feel.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's great. But I think that's the one thing I miss, like with the other just outside media, outside of comics interpretations of Cyclops, is he's just like, Gene, Professor, Gene, leave me alone, Wolverine. Right? That's all it.
There's a lot more going on with Cyclops, and I didn't care about him at that time. The Grant Morrison Cyclops and the later versions of Cyclops, when he became a complete and total like We've already said dick a million times on the show tonight. Why not whip it out one more time? So,
But here's the best part: Cyclops, like everything that everyone praises Grant Morrison for turning Cyclops into a douchebag, and I'm like,
well,
the
he was
whole
always
time when
that
people
way.
are, and I was like, dude, those seeds have been planted since the Chris
He-
Claremont, Jim Lee run. Like those,
Yes. Yeah.
it's all there with him, like eyeballing Psylocke and Jean busting him and stuff like that. And I'm just like,
Well,
oh,
just even back to the
there it
fact
is.
that Jean dies, Jean goes away after Dark Phoenix kind of thing, and Cyclops goes and finds Madeline Pryor and absolutely immediately falls in love with her, has a baby with her, who we all then know later as Cable, and then Jean comes back and Scott, who's built this life with Jean 2.0, Madeline Pryor, and just says, "Nope, I'm out. Jean's back," and it's like, but
No, the best
she
part about
is
that,
Jean.
not only does he dump her, he dumps her onto his little brother Havoc and says, "You date her instead."
Yeah, yeah.
And he does.
So exactly like you said, like I don't give Grant Morrison credit for giving him that because he was that long before.
True.
But it was just at that age I was better able to get into a character like that where earlier I wasn't. And I did not like him for stuff like that. But then again, that's how we got Cable, who was one of my all-time favorite characters.
Hang on, guys. Continue without me for 1 second. I am gonna
Sure.
step out. I got something to show Thanos Copter. He's talking about something in the chat, and I'm like, oh boy, I know what you're talking about.
All right. Once Ryan gets back, we're gonna blow that chat up and we'll share it because it's gonna be really awesome. I know. But
So
yeah, Cyclops just definitely has always, he's always been a jerk. Like even back when they originally came out and he was all like head of the class and everything else. So I'll bring this up right now. Collecting Classics is in the house with us all. He gave us a shout out on his live earlier. I popped in just a few minutes before we jumped on here. Guys, he was doing a big giveaway tonight. Ray, glad to have you in the chat. Thanks for coming in. Grizz the season, folks.
here's
Hashtag
the
Collecting
season.
Classic. There we go.
That's right.
Grizz the season. I like that, Ray. We're going to have to spread that hashtag around. That's right up there with Rip a Grizz. Grizz the season.
Rip a Grizz the season.
Yes.
I emailed you a really good X-Men pic I photoshopped that shows my love for the franchise. That's awesome, Thanos Copter. I'll have to pull that up and have a look at it.
Definitely do.
I'm holding up. I have one more figure to show, and it's my favorite one from this box. And
Okay.
I'm hesitant to show it, but I'm also excited to show it. But it's my favorite one. But let's see what Ryan has to share here.
All right, so Thanos Copter brought up the X-Men comics from Japan, and I managed to actually score some.
Here, let's actually bring these up. We're going to full screen these.
All right, so these are the ones that are from Japan. These are from the 90s. These are actually pretty darn rare. But they are amazing. Hang on. Like they just like the art it matches the same as the covers as we all go through.
Yeah.
Oh wow, yeah.
And it's awesome. It's got all the guidebook stuff in the back. And it just
That's
looks
so
like
cool.
there's that near the end they had like another opening for the X-Men, which was the Japanese opening. So look up that. If you look up the animated, like just look up the X-Men, anime opening.
Geez, yeah, look at that.
Right? And it's the coolest thing. I even think I have, the iconic Rogue butt shots that I'm pretty sure
yes.
They do a lot of those in the book too.
Okay.
Right,
Showing that
like it's
thick Rogue.
Yep. Well, the rule is her hair should always be bigger than her ass. And she's got pretty big hair.
Yeah,
Right?
Rogue just doesn't feel right without the big hair. Like that going into the early 2000s to the 2010s when like they toned down her hair, I was like, no, Rogue needs her Aquanet back. Bring it back.
Yep.
I know on Toy Anxiety, you mentioned how it's the only way they could currently improve on the Outback Rogue that's coming out is if her hair was bigger. And I totally agreed with you as soon as you said it.
Just a little bigger, a little spikier, right? She's got to have this, like, how to put it? It's like she's got. Did you guys? Okay, I don't know if you guys ever got this either. Did you ever get Degrassi Junior High?
Later, or no, actually, no. I think it was
like the 80s.
You're talking about the 80s version, right? I don't think that aired here.
No, I don't.
So there's a character on that show. Her name was Spike.
Yep.
And she had that rogue hair, that classic big ass 80s rogue hair.
And she went on to become one of the later generation's moms, which was cool because they brought her back.
Well, it makes sense because she was the one that was pregnant in high school.
Yeah.
So everything lined up.
Major Issues Comics giving the shout out to Punk Rogue in the 80s was rad. So he's right on board with the rest of us.
100% agree. Yep.
Honestly, I gotta admit, I kind of miss the big hair. I do miss that big hair of the 80s, the early 90s.
Look at that! Look at that Cyclops.
Right?
Those shoulders.
That looks like an Origins figure. Here, hold it up again. Full size.
I'm gonna full size that.
Look at that. Yeah. That's definitely an Origins figure.
Beautiful, right?
Totally.
Look at that cover.
Oh yeah.
Like
that's
it's
cool.
almost like a Kirby cover, isn't it?
Right, a
like
little
Jack
bit.
Kirby style, a little bit.
It's like I said, this comic rules. And these are super rare and hard to find, right? Look at this. Apocalypse's entrance.
Oh wow.
That's
like unreal.
Like that's Apocalypse right there. That's him.
You can't tell his eyes are looking two different directions.
There we go. Right? Skelly's recreating the comic while he's still in package because he commands that. Although he can't see you if you stand directly in front of him.
That's right.
They did some beauty, like even like when they start drawing like the White House, like it's so detailed. It's so good.
That's incredible.
So you said these came out in the 90s because I know Giraffe said that these were done before, or he was asking, looks amazing. That book was done before 2012, and so early 90s X-Men manga. I'd never seen these before myself, and I am blown away by them.
They did re-release these. They did re-release these as floppies, but not all of them. So I think there's like maybe 12 issues worth, but they're translated. They're not done in the manga style book, and they didn't release all of them. I think there's 17 volumes of these. I've only been able to get my hands on 3. But there's only been me and a couple other artists, comic artists on Instagram, that are professionals, where we've just been like trying to help each other track them down. Because we're just always like, oh my God, these things. And it's like, I have friends in Japan. They're like, oh God, I've never seen these in my life. And even when I went to Japan, I couldn't find anything. I was going to use bookstores and I was like, X-Men. And they kept pointing me to like just translated graphic novels that were like from the year. Right. So it was just like, no, like manga. And they were just like, get out of here, Gaijin. Fuck off.
You get out here now, Round Eye.
Yeah, right. It was just get out of here. So they were, but like I said, like it was, I've been wanting to yeah, just always trying to like keep an eye out and ear to the ground trying to find these things, but it's been a few years and still only
That's
have the
incredible.
3. So.
Well, thank you for introducing me to those because I've never seen them in my life, and I think they look
Me neither.
amazing.
Yeah.
Major Issue Comics does bring up the fact that when Rogue was first introduced, she had that crazy short hair at first, which is, around that time before she ripped off the Carol Danvers powers and became that more popular Rogue that we know later with the
I
super
want
strength
that
and
Rogue
flight.
as a Marvel Legend as well. I want them to do a 3-pack of her, Destiny, and Mystique. And that'll be like how you finish off your Brotherhood of Evil Mutants.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, Major Issues Comics. You gotta go to flea markets when traveling. Has to always happen. Every road trip, either antique stores or flea markets. You got to go.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, antique stores can be gold mines, especially because when it comes to a lot of these kinds of toys, most antique stores don't realize what they have. Hence how you get away with finding a flat top for $5 or
hang on, I gotta show you this blob.
Yeah. Okay, hold on.
How cute
that's
is
hilarious.
the blob?
Right back there in the background. So happy he's got a sandwich, it looks like.
He is. How could you not be happy? What a great little like.
You got Blob eating a sandwich and a close up of a couple of gooches.
Yeah, that's manga for you. But it's such good stuff, right? I'm so excited that we're getting Avalanche now too.
I know. I've been waiting for that Avalanche to drop for a while. Mind you, I don't even collect Marvel Legends, but I like seeing it through other people and enjoying it that way because I always wanted to, like way back when they first started doing the comic book, here's your comic, here's your character, and it came with the little stand, and then they start getting into the Build-A-Figures a little bit more. Always wanted to try and keep up with them from back then, but I just couldn't. I had 2 other bills to pay. I couldn't collect toys really. And now it's like they're still at that price point where I'm just like, I can't do it. However, meanwhile, now Mythic Legions has infected me a little bit with Figure Obscura and stuff, and I'm like, maybe I can. I mean, I've still got the Diamond Selects Venom, Marvel Select Anti-Venom. Like, it's not like I've shied away from it completely. Like 6 or 5 years ago when they did that Spider-Man Retro 5-pack, with him in the center. Spider-Man in the Sinister Six is a big pack.
Yep.
I did do that one, but that's actually tucked away, still fully sealed. Like, I opened up the shipper box because when I originally bought it, it was going to be for, God, I hope he doesn't watch this episode, my son. And then I realized I was looking at him and I was like, this is such a collector set. Like, I open all of my stuff and I was like, I can't open this set. And I put it away and, it's sealed away. And years from now, I'll let Connor have it and he can decide whether he wants to open it or sell it. And if he's going to open it, I want to post the video so I can absolutely make all those mint on card collectors cry because I enjoy doing that. It's one of my favorite pastimes. And mind you, I don't knock you for not opening your toys. That's the way you like to collect. I just find enjoyment in making you cry when I open up something super rare, like a factory sealed Alien Queen Hive playset from 1992 Kenner that cost me almost as much as Eternia would have cost everybody. And I totally opened it.
That's up to you. Hey man, that's up to you.
You do what you got to do.
It made me all happy.
The last figure I have to show, I've been holding off because it's my favorite from the batch. And
all right,
maybe you all can help me figure out why it's my favorite, but I'm really drawn to this figure aesthetic. Sauron.
Nice.
Sauron, it's because of those wings, man. Again, he was another one of those early ones I had.
He's a dinosaur.
He's
What's not to love?
fantastic.
Yes.
Love this guy.
And what makes him even better is the fact that he's a dinosaur. He's a mutant vampire.
Mhm.
and like, you know, the lizard from Spider-Man wanted to turn everybody into, you know, lizards and stuff
Lizards.
like that. And then, you know,
Yeah.
Sauron here was all about like trying to make people dinosaurs. And, you know, I always wanted to see like this epic reptilian team up between like Stegron, Lizard, and Sauron.
Oh, that would have been cool. I never even thought
Yeah,
of that. But yeah, like why hasn't that happened?
right. Like, why was there never truly a team up between Stegron and the Lizard? Because they're both Spidey villains, and like they never teamed up. They both have similar goals. Never
Right.
happened.
He's
Seems
also
like
a
a missed
member of the
opportunity.
Horde.
Yes,
He's
he's got
also a
like
member
that
of the
Horde
Horde.
emblem on his belt. Yeah, he was
No,
certainly always one of my favorite, and I think he was like between him and Apocalypse, like out of those original Marvel like Legends, Toy Biz waves and stuff like that when they were coming, those Build-A-Figures like stole my heart. The Apocalypse and the Sauron ones, because these are characters that should be so much larger than everybody else. Like I still think of like those big splash pages from the X-Men that took up both pages of like Sauron and his wings just coming in and covering everything. And so like as a Build-A-Figure to me, he made perfect sense.
one of the best
And
Build-A-Figures they've ever made.
yeah, and it's like that figure comparatively to the other figures is pretty big because of the wingspan that they put on him. But he just doesn't quite like he looks kind of scrawny. He's all wing, and but he's so great looking. We all know how much I like articulated jaws because of that Skeletor. And he's got that. Like he's totally got the articulated jaw. Like I said, and what's not to like? They gave him a wooden stick as his accessory because he is such a beast. That's all he needs to go toe to toe with the X-Men is a wooden
A
club. That's
He's
it.
got a club. He's got that terrifying beak and derpy eyes. There's nothing that can. So HP Brownsaucecraft is mentioning Skelly remembers Saurians. Has anyone in the chat or anybody in our on the screen heard of a movie called Saurians? This movie was made by a guy in the early 90s on a budget of like $5, and it's so bad and so wonderful. I think HP Brownsaucecraft and I, had like 5 parties where we showed this because it was just like a unique find. I don't even know how I found it, HP Brownsaucecraft, but that maybe you found it. But yeah, Saurians. Those of you who are interested in bad movies, like genuinely bad and wonderful.
Oh, I love them.
Bad movies with a lot of
I'm
heart.
looking this one up right now.
Find Saurians. I haven't looked it up in a long time. I don't even know if it's I don't even know. It was like one of those magical.
1994.
You found
How
it.
would it compare to Miami Connection?
I've never seen Miami Connection.
Hold on.
I think we need to do a double feature in the Discord server some night. That again, that's our Patreon exclusive. If we can find both movies, do them back to back. Ryan Dole come in as a special guest, and we'll all sit down and do a full live stream of these two movies. I think that could be fun. Except it almost looks like you can't find it on anything but VHS.
Yeah, it was. I think
Probably.
And it was filmed on VHS. I'm pretty confident too. Yeah, so it's really, really. I think we found it at Blockbuster for like $1. They were trying to sell it off there when Blockbuster was going out. Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, what's not about a wonky dinosaur? And there's lots of wonky dinosaurs in Saurians. Oz is already watching it. He found it somewhere. He's watching it right now.
No,
I'm
no, I
trying to
haven't
find
found it to
anything
watch.
about it.
Well, I totally found
the
all
name,
about the movie, but
yeah.
if you look up shopping on Google instead of just looking at the movie, they've got these Saurian comic books. The Dinosaur made it to Blu-ray, mind you. If you've all seen that old movie,
Oh yeah.
that made
Yeah.
it to Blu-ray, but not Saurians.
Oh, Brownsaucecraft says he still has a copy on VHS. We'll have to get
Awesome.
that digitized. We'll have
Oh,
to get it digitized.
rip it.
Yeah, exactly. Because it
Rip
don't
it and
exist
rip it.
otherwise in the digital world that I can find.
Yeah. So that's it for the Toy Biz figures, guys. I think I'm stoked to have these. And thanks again, HP Brownsaucecraft, for donating these. This is awesome. Super phenomenal. Just in time for the 60th anniversary of X-Men coming up next year. I mean, it couldn't be more perfect. And these are staying on card. I'm going to hang them on the wall. These are staying on card.
That's a good collection to hang.
Nice.
You know, keep on card and
Yeah.
definitely. Oh, apparently no, that cannot be Saurians on Prime.
Yeah.
No,
At least I
that's
learned
for
something
whatever.
tonight because I didn't know too much about these figures, except for me working at Toys R Us while they were out. But I don't really know much about them, so I appreciate the conversation.
Well,
Yeah, I learned a ton tonight. Like because I stopped reading X-Men comics in like '85. Like I read them a lot when I was very young, but enough to like fall in love with the characters. But stopped reading the comics. Eventually became primarily DC in the late '80s, and then mostly just Batman. And then I moved away from comic books. I just did, and then endured those X-Men movies. I like them to a certain extent, but they're not as good as the comics were. And I feel like tonight I've just, like you, Bobby, I've learned so much. Like I love hearing the drama.
Yeah, I had a X-Men video game for the Commodore 64 back in the day that I used to play all the time. But
that was a rough one too.
Yeah, that's my exposure to X-Men. And,
no wonder you didn't become a big fan.
Well, no, I mean the game was okay. I mean it wasn't the best, but it was all right for what I had, But
yeah, because
the movies are. I don't care about the movies too much. I don't think they're the greatest.
I had my gripes about the movies, especially when they first came out.
Yeah.
Almost exclusively about Hugh Jackman being Wolverine at first, because I'm like, here's this unknown Australian guy, and he's gonna go ahead and he's gonna play like my all-time favorite character, and he's like, a whole 1.5 feet too tall, and I'm just like, that's not right.
So since you're big fans of him, then how come a lot of people love him as Wolverine?
Here's the thing.
They're muggles.
He grew on me as Wolverine as time went on.
Yeah.
Because he did a really good job trying to get into the attitude of Wolverine the best he could in a PG-13 theater.
Okay.
And still trying to keep the campiness of the movies early on. And I appreciated that. Like, I take Hugh Jackman's Wolverine as a completely separate kind of version of Wolverine, and I can respect what he did with the character, and I enjoy what he did with the character. And that early X-Men movie, the early Spider-Man movies, really helped pave the way for what we eventually got with the MCU, and even some of those diamonds in the rough that we got out of the DCEU, which, let's face it, there's been good and there's been bad.
Yeah.
But that's on both sides. You could wage the DC Marvel wars all you want. Marvel had a bigger bankroll very quickly. and DC never got the budget.
Yeah.
They had a sizable budget with Warner Brothers, but Warner Brothers has been trying to fund that line since '89, and so it just never really worked for them the best.
Yeah, I'm not real big on the superhero films as much anymore. I liked them when they first came out because I thought it was cool that they're all tying into each other.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for an Evil Ernie film. I would love to see one.
That would be cool. Evil Ernie and Lady Death.
Yeah.
A little purgatory going on. That would be pretty neat.
Yeah,
I used to have
cool.
those
I think
toys
that
too.
universe is split up.
It
is,
did.
I
Yeah.
think all those characters belong to different people now.
They do. It's stretched out all over the place.
Yeah, it's a shame. They were good. I got all their Evil Ernie comics, but I'd like to see a film of that one day. It would be neat.
If they ever
I
do
think,
Evil Ernie, I want them to do it in stop motion.
That would be
That
great.
would be cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That would be really, really cool.
Yeah, that would be good.
All right, you hear
Yeah,
us,
they
Justin? Justin from Stunt Puppets Pictures.
Oh,
Sorry.
yeah.
I was going to say, let's get Justin Raj on it.
Listen, Evil Ernie.
That'd be
That's
great.
right. Go see if I can find my Evil Ernie toy so you can get started on it.
Yeah, I got the figure.
I had Evil Ernie and Lady Death, and very similar to the story we told at the top of the episode, I went into an antique store around here, Ryan's Relics, and you know it's actually Dole's favorite store in Maryland. He didn't even know he had one, and so I go in and they've got these bins, like these junk bins, and it's like inside the bin, it's like, you know, whatever's in there, it's 2 for $5. And sitting right on top, mint on card, Lady Death and Evil Ernie.
Oh, wow.
And I grabbed them both. And it's like, I remember the Wizard comic magazine that showed these off in pre-production, like getting sculpted. And I finally like just grabbed them and I went up to the front and he was like, yeah, that's 2 for $5, even though they both clearly had like $15 price tags on them each. That was like the Ryan Relics ones. I think somebody just accidentally dumped them in that box, but he totally gave them to me for that price. So I was like, yes.
That's good.
Cool.
And it was like, wow, this is great. You know, something I remember as a kid looking at and reading about in a magazine and never had the chance to own because my mom was not going to buy me a bikini-clad, pale warrior woman and this rotting corpse figure, and finally had both of them.
Yeah, the creator, he's from Arizona. He's in Arizona. I met him. He's pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Find him. Bring him on here. Let's bring him on, Bobby.
Maybe. We'll see.
Hey, I'd be down to talk with him. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he signed one of my first original Evil Ernie. I think it was issue 4 I have that he signed from the Eternity comics before he became Chaos.
Yeah.
So that's the first issues. Yeah.
That is really awesome.
Yeah, that's right.
So I almost forgot to mention this earlier tonight, and I certainly did not want to forget about it. However, if anybody's been on IG lately, Articulated Times is doing a really awesome giveaway for a Mythic Legions Unknown One figure. So if any of you guys are interested in trying your hand at winning and getting in on Mythic Legions at the absolute best price that you can right now, you know, a giveaway for one of the rarer figures at the moment, the Unknown One, go ahead, give him a follow on IG, share his post, and try to snatch yourself up one. I've definitely entered in to win that. And I told him earlier tonight while he was on live that I'd give him a shout out and spread the word a little bit. And so if you haven't already checked them out, I've made a couple posts about it. You go ahead and click on any of those and follow the link. So I did want to give him a shout out for this week.
Yeah, that's awesome. What a cool giveaway. Get on it, folks. Get on it, folks. That's an amazing thing. I also have something I'd like to promote two. This guy's been working on this for a while, but Craig, his name's also Ganga. He's been on the chat before in the past. He right now is doing a Kickstarter for Masters of the Universe fan art trading cards. And for those of you who are artists and you want to participate, you can contact him and maybe even get your artwork featured on a trading card. The contact information is on the Kickstarter page down below. But also feel free to contribute. If you contribute, you'll get a pack or two. I'm not sure how the deal goes, but it's a really cool thing. Get on it if you like trading cards and you like Motu fan art. So there's that too. Anybody else have anything to promote?
Yeah, I got a few things because I do a lot of stuff.
I was going to say, Ryan, what do you got going on tomorrow night?
Yeah.
Tomorrow night is Gotham City Tonight. We are going to break down the news from Hollywood Reporter because there's a lot going on, and I'm glad I was about to just do an episode solo last night just to kind of like talk about it because it was fresh. And I was like, I'm so happy I waited a day because then James Gunn came out with a series of tweets explaining what the article was about. Now there's like the Snyderverse people are absolutely losing their goddamn minds. It's like fuel for my soul. It's kind of funny. I don't know. It's this like, man, there's such a weird community. No offense to anyone in the chat who loves Snyder. I'm not going to yuck your yum, right? But for me, it's just like, whoa, guys, you guys have clearly never read comics before and had your like favorite comic canceled midway through a story. I'm going to tell you that right now. So just chill out. Everything's going to be okay. So that's for Gotham City Tonight tomorrow. So myself and Lexi will be back, and we're going to break that down. Also, the Suicide Squad video game trailer dropped today as well. Not sure if anyone saw it. Heads up, it's going to make you cry. So just be forewarned about that. And we're going to talk about that a little bit as well. And I think we're going to try and do a watch along this weekend of Christmas with the Joker from Batman Animated Series. We've got to see what our schedules are. And then next week, Tuesday, is a big week. So not only do I have Toy Anxiety on the Toy Anxiety channel, that day as well, Across the Spider-Verse trailer 2 drops that morning. So that's what I'm working on when I'm not on YouTube. I'm working on Spider-Man movies. So everyone, hopefully check it out. Hopefully you like it. We worked really, really hard on this trailer. So, hopefully you all enjoy that. So that's all that's happening with me.
That's all amazing stuff. I'm definitely tuning in tomorrow night. I want to hear what you have to say about what James Gunn has up his sleeves.
Mm-hmm.
I've got to say, I'd love to have him on my own show just because he felt like James Gunn films up here in Vancouver all the time.
Yeah.
I just need to run into him. That's all. And John Cena. I need him on my show too.
Oh yeah,
I'll reach out to both of them. I have a way with reaching out to people and them just responding or not. Yeah. I'm looking at you, Dolph Lundgren. Yeah. I'm looking at you. Yeah. You never respond.
I doubt he will.
Yeah, I appreciate that too. I'm a big fan of James Gunn always like going in there and clearing things up, or if someone's spreading like misinformation about like a set or or how someone was casted, he's always like, he always pops on the Twitter machine. And
yes,
I just want to say
I'm all for it.
I definitely want to go on record and say I have very deep respect for James Gunn because of how he got started and what he's turned his career into over the years from where he got started. I don't know if you're all familiar with the Trauma films, but that's where he got his start making movies for Trauma. And Trauma is the birthplace of the Toxic Avenger. And if you love cult movies like I do, then you know that in James Gunn he has a similar appreciation. And you watch James Gunn's movies and you can see that it's right there on the surface, his appreciation for the history of cult cinema in America, and he's bringing that into comic book movies. I mean, it's great. I love it. I love what the guy's doing. I'm a big fan.
If Peacemaker is anything like what we're going to get as far as like action and heart and understanding these characters goes, then I think we're in for a treat. And he's also made it clear, like, hey, I can't do a Superman movie, but I know people who can and will do it right. I'm not that person. So you already know he's going to find the right people for the right job. So I'm super curious of what's going to happen. Next few years is going to be very interesting.
I think we're going to see more movement on the whole DC EU than we have pretty much the entire time that it's been with Zack Snyder. Because, like, Marvel picked up the pace and started slamming out movies, 3 a year, which is a pretty intense filming schedule. And it was just
tell me about it.
Longer and longer and longer gaps for everything DC wise. When I wanted to see more, because although they weren't exactly my favorite films as far as what was going on, I could see where putting different people in charge of different movies and getting different depictions of these characters could be really interesting. But they just didn't have that focused kind of center that Marvel had very early on how they wanted to do things. And it just got really slow until, what we've been hearing about.
Everything felt like a reaction. That was the problem.
Yeah.
Everything DC's done has been a reaction to Marvel as opposed to just doing their own thing.
Yeah.
And now they ended up with a mess on their hands. And whether you like Zack Snyder's DC movies or not, you can't help but to say, like, they are divisive or decisive, divisive, right?
Divisive.
And
I think that'd be the right word.
And right. And so, and I think and now because of that, I think they're going to continue to be. But I think at this point, it sounds like to me from what I read on Twitter today with James Gunn, he does not care. He's very much already accepted that. And he's like, we're just going to try and make movies, that make sense and that feel in character. And I was like, that's all I've been asking for like 20 years.
Exactly, right?
Yes, MCU did take time to build. They did take their time to build, and they earned their I don't know if I would necessarily. You could say they earned their 3 movies a year. I would have wished they took like a 5-year break from movies after Endgame, but that's a whole other thing. But you're right. But yeah, DCU tried to catch up too quickly, and no one was on the same page of what they wanted to do. Like the execs weren't on the same page. Patty Jenkins wasn't on the same page as Snyder, and across the board, like everyone was in a different. And you could watch it. It's hate using this as an example because I think this already gets beaten down like a dead horse already. But like it's the same feeling when you're watching the sequel trilogy for Star Wars. It's not cohesive, and that's where DC and Star Wars to me, that's how they always kind of felt. Like you can't even watch some of them like alone because you're kind of like, well, the story's not done, but then the story goes a completely different way. Blah 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 blah. But anyways, yeah, I'm glad that Matt Reeves made a Batman movie. That's all I can say.
Yes,
was 100%. 100%.
Got to agree.
That's a good movie.
It really is.
I love that movie.
I remember. Oh man, all the outcry and outrage about it, like when it was first kind of like announced after Ben was stepping back and he was stepping into the shoes and everything was changing very rapidly with kind of how it was going to go. And it turned out to be a fantastic Batman movie.
Yeah, the more I've gotten to know you, Bobby, I feel like you would like it. I feel like you'd like that Batman movie. Yeah.
I don't know. My wife watched it. She told me the same thing, but I'm not a superhero guy anymore. I used to be a little bit when I was younger, but superheroes don't appeal to me too much.
Yeah,
it's just one of those things.
I can understand that. I feel like part of the problem is not having the superhero film or the superhero franchise that speaks to you or to me.
Yeah.
Like, and I felt like I'd really missed a film version of Batman that spoke to me. And I mean, Christian Bale's an amazing actor, but the more I watch those Christopher Nolan movies, the more I feel like I'm not feeling the Christian Bale Batman. It's
See, I like that Joker movie on its own.
Yeah.
That was almost like a real life thing. Because like if I have comics, I read a lot of horror comics.
Yeah.
And I'm a big Hellboy fan.
Yeah.
And that's why I like Evil Ernie as well. So that's the type of stuff I like to go towards. Superhero stuff I'm not big on. The only one I do have is Moon Knight, but I got everything from him from the beginning till 2020, I think.
So
that's the only character I ever got.
Your T-shirt and what you just said is partially why I feel like you might like this Batman movie.
Okay.
So just try it out. Don't get mad if you don't like it. Don't get mad at me.
No. Yeah, Skele, you made me waste my time. No, I'm okay. Hey, I watch Attack of the Killer Tomatoes once a year, so I mean,
there you go. You can't set your expectations.
Well, then you're definitely gonna like the new Batman movie.
Yeah, they actually have a cameo from the Killer Tomatoes rolling in.
Oh, okay, sure.
Whoa, spoilers!
Oh, sorry.
Oh wait, yeah, that's not that one. The previous one, that damn Bat voice was so grating. Thanos, so you're talking about Christian Bale's, because I totally agree.
Yeah, that's annoying.
It's like him talking through a scuba mask. It really drives me crazy. It's
like he tries too hard.
Yeah, and Christian Bale, if you're watching, I'm a big fan of all your other work. So it's nothing against you. Christian Bale's not watching this.
American Psycho.
You'd be surprised.
Oh man, absolutely. Sorry, he said American Psycho, and I was like, yes, absolutely. Then what did you say, Ryan?
I was like, you don't know. He could be watching. He's probably going to watch on the replay tomorrow.
Yeah.
Everybody watches Toy Frenzy.
That's right. So, sort of the last announcement that I have is that next week we got the two Joes coming on our show. We're excited about this. We've got Joe Amato showing up, and we have Mo2 Joe showing up, and we're going to talk about the thing that brought us all to Masters of the Universe, which is the vintage toys, and really excited about that conversation. As you all, if any of you watch Fans of Power, Joe Amato. He's got a lot of personality. And if any of you watch Mo2 Joe's like solo unboxing videos, he has a lot of personality. So, Oz and Bobby and I are probably just going to sit back and ride the wave, but it's going to be a lot of fun.
I'll be sparring with Joe Amato pretty good.
There you go. Good. Yeah. That'll be fun. That'll be a good episode. Be a good episode. Bobby, do you have any announcements that you wanted to make?
The one announcement is we're going to be recording our second episode for Power of Eternia podcast this Sunday, which will air the following week. So episode 2. So with Adam from Battle Ram Blog. So we're looking forward to that.
Nice.
And, it'll be a good one. Yep.
Yeah, that'll be
great.
I
like that website.
Yeah, he's got a lot of knowledge. I'm trying to catch up to him, but he can still spit names out, and I forget names sometimes, and it's just he's excellent at that,
Yeah, I've always said I use his website as a resource for all the knowledge that I bring most of the time, because he had known stuff that I'd never known about. And so it's really cool that we get this opportunity to sit down and talk with him once a month and record a really fun episode. That's still incredible to me. I enjoy it because
he's great too. He's a real nice guy.
Yeah, he is.
Hey guys, I just re-listened to episode 1. For those of you who are watching this and you haven't gone to listen to episode 1 of Powers of Eternia podcast, you should definitely do it. I just re-listened to it again this week. It's awesome. You guys are first episode. You're already incredibly pleasing to what I need to hear.
Did it change any since the second time you listened to it? Was it a
yes,
different outcome?
There's one moment where.
Hey, I've been silent all night. I have to get some kind of jokes out.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, how did you do that, by the way, Bobby? Because you changed something in the episode, but I'm not going to tell anybody what it is. You got to listen to it twice in order for you to catch it.
It's called the magic of editing. No, I didn't touch nothing.
Oh, yeah.
We're getting more views.
Oh, yeah. Go watch it 500 times.
Yeah,
listen to it.
Yeah.
He added in some deleted scenes.
Yeah. It's like reading a book. You forgot a chapter. Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah.
That's right.
It's the same thing.
That's right. Absolutely. Well, Ryan, I got to say my piece here. Thank you so much for being here. This is awesome. You really brought the knowledge again. So happy you came on. I was really excited, but also really nervous to talk about these Toy Biz figures because I just I've liked them from afar, but I know nothing about the line. And so now I know all the stuff. Thank you so much for being here and sharing this experience with us.
Yeah, no, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure being here and hanging out.
Yeah, I learned a lot too because I didn't, like I said, I don't know too much about the figures. All I had said, I remember them just seeing them when I worked at Toys R Us and stuff, but I never got into them too much. So it was a good learning experience tonight.
Well, one thing you will always remember now is that if you blow Banshee, he whistles.
Yeah, that's the best part.
You'll never forget it.
Oh, man. Well, I'll probably be dreaming of that tonight somehow.
No, don't dream that.
Dreams I want to have, but yeah.
Hey, just like we were saying earlier, remember?
Yeah. Guys, last night I was having this dream and I just suddenly started
talk in your sleep.
Oh my god! All right, wait. I'm trying, guys. Keep talking. I'm uploading Thanos Copter's photo that he sent over,
oh, yeah.
and I just opened it, and I'm pretty floored by this. So give me a moment. I guess I gotta get ready.
I'll go through and I'll do my plug now because I did plug articulated times earlier. But if you guys aren't all sick of me yet, I'm going on this Saturday with another Mythic Legions class along with Brick Something, Jesse from Just Shelve It, and again Sean Scrivana from Legends of Grayskull podcast, and even Eldor from Masterversal Toy Hunters channel. We're all going to be sitting down and we're really going to start diving into the lore that follows Mythic Legions.
Oh, wow.
So if you guys are interested at all, if you're totally new to it, as most of us are, and we're just kind of getting into it, you can go back and watch the first episode and find out how scary it's not to jump in on Mythic Legions if you kind of start from where they're at now. Go in, you can pre-order their newest wave out. It's not too unreasonable. It's not that scary. Looking on the secondary market, it can be a little bit scarier, but as I've already come to find out, being involved in the community, there are so many willing and giving people in there. You can definitely find a lot of good deals. So we're going to be furthering off of the original episode and really going ahead and getting into the lore and where we're going to go from there. So don't want to miss out. Definitely catch it. And you're very unfamiliar with Mythic Legions, this is, again, even another great episode to start with because we're just getting into the basics. We're barely going to be scratching the surface of all of it. So it's a great leaping point, and that's going to be a lot of fun to do.
Excellent.
So, and a little bit more promotion here from Brick Something along with it.
Yeah.
Because it's really, really good. Really good. Oh, and Gamer Bud here. I am. It's gonna happen.
I couldn't for some reason. I couldn't share for some reason. So I did mail it to Facebook messaged the image to you.
Got it.
You have better luck with these things than I do.
I'm on it, buddy. Hold on, let me download it.
So Thanos, it's coming up. We are going to share it. I was astounded when I opened it up. So very, very cool work. So I'm thinking about entering that contest tonight.
Are you?
For the unknown one?
Yeah, because I just looked at that image again. I've been glancing at it all week, but I just looked at it again, and I'm like,
weird.
Yeah.
Everybody, right now, if you haven't already, go over to Articulated Times and join this giveaway. Mind you, I say this, I'm entered in this giveaway, so the more everybody else joins in, the less chances I actually have to win this figure.
Yeah.
But it's such an awesome giveaway, such a great way to jump in and get started.
I'll enter it, and if I win, I'll send it to you.
Ooh,
there you go, Bobby.
I will not complain about...
You and Skelly can do a fight between each other to get it.
There we go.
I'm just going to say...
I was about to say, like, oh, it's the time for giving, and then it's like, oh, never mind.
Yeah.
We're past Friendsgiving at this point, folks. So here we go. This is what Thanos sent.
Wow.
Thank you, Gamer Bud.
Look at it's every character.
Just about. I see quite a few deep cuts in there. Man.
Yeah,
oh, we've even got Gray Dark Beast in the back too, which is great. Random.
I feel like this is one of those posters that if you stare at it and let your eyes blur, you'll see an image of something else.
Like Mr. Pitt.
Yeah.
Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Schooner is a sailboat.
That's hilarious. Absolutely. That's hilarious. Thanos Copter did a great job here.
Yeah. I love choosing the Age of Apocalypse Sunfire up here in the corner, top left. I think that's great because, again, just the versions of characters from that timeline to me were so amazing. I mean, they finally stripped away all the pouches and everything of the early 90s and kind of went back to a more bare bones. That led to some of the more classic looks for the later 90s going into the 2000s. And just,
so cool.
It was an awesome storyline.
Is that Slimer? What's that green blob thing?
Oh, yeah. What is that? I don't know that character.
Oh,
it's like a pickle or something.
No, it's... Oh, God. Why am I blanking? He's from X-Force. Mike Eldred's run.
I want to call him Amoeba, but I know that's not his name. And it's bugging me.
Why am I blanking? I even have his Marvel Legend figure. Yeah, Ecstatics was used to be. They changed. Get this. So when it was X-Force, then they changed it to Ecstatics because they found out that they had to like pay Rob Liefeld, and they were like on the outs with him. So they were like, they changed like the name to Deadpool for a little bit, and they changed the name of Cable Dupe. Thank you.
Yep.
And yeah, so then they changed X-Force to Ecstatics because they didn't want to pay him. Best thing about Ecstatics, they almost brought Princess Diana back from the dead as a member of the team.
Whoa!
And then it got shut down. There's artwork for it and everything. Oh well, it was in the it was in their solicitations. And then that's how everyone found out. And it was like, what? And the outrage.
yeah, I can imagine.
It was pretty awesome, though.
Yeah. That's crazy. Absolutely crazy. But I like it. I'll take it.
I love Mike Aldred. He's an amazing artist.
Yeah. All right, so Dupe is my new favorite. Dupe is my new favorite character now. And I'm going to just do a deep dive on Dupe. A Dupe deep dive. After tonight's episode, a Dupe dive.
Dupe dive. Hashtag Dupe dive, folks.
Actually, now seeing like, where are my Ecstatics Marvel Legends? Where are they? I'm gonna message them right now.
That's funny because you know what? When I went to a comic shop, it was probably about 10 years ago. and my son was standing in front of the glass window, and they had a picture of Duke. The reason why I remember that now, the name, is because he took a picture because he thought the name was funny, and they had Duke, so he wanted a photo with it. That's hilarious.
That's awesome.
That's something. That's weird. That's weird.
Where is our danger room place?
I got to agree with Brick on this one. Like,
Yeah.
if you know, HasLab's been struggling lately. Engine of Vengeance was
You
not
think that would
too
do it?
spectacular. I think we're
I
getting
wanted the
enough
Spirit
of
of Vengeance. I wanted that.
I
understand why
don't blame
people
you.
didn't.
I thought it was great too. I thought it was a little overpriced, but I was interested to see what other characters were coming with it. And to be honest, I think the lineup that they had was great, but I felt like it had already lost all of its steam and it couldn't get back that momentum.
Poor people ruined my chance to get Madeline Pryor, and I'll never forgive them for it.
Oh, come on. We already know the Hellfire Club pack had a better version of that figure anyway. I was more pumped for Mephisto. Like, that was a really,
Let me see if
really
that's
awesome.
true.
Oh, you know it's true.
Oh,
Just get that flex out a little bit. Oh.
Yeah. Oh,
that. Let's see
Best-
the
best
box.
box
Can we
set.
see the front of the box?
All right, gotta show it off, Dole. Gotta show it off. Here we
Oh,
go.
that's beautiful.
We're full screening this. This is the Hellfire Club.
Beautiful.
It is
Oh, it
one
has
of
your-
the most gorgeous box sets ever. Right up there with the He-Man 40th Anniversary 2-pack.
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking. Look at that envelope.
So it also has like your invitation letter to join the Hellfire Club. That's in there.
Incredible.
And then you got all your figs.
Yes. Yeah.
That's phenomenal.
It's great.
One of the best box sets they ever made. And usually this was supposed to be the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive of 2020, but thank God there was a pandemic so that I was able to get it.
Right.
Yeah, that
I got
helped us all out
exclusives.
getting exclusives that year.
Yeah, man. Fuck, more pandemics, please.
Yeah.
I like
Everybody
it.
stay home.
Right. Lock everybody in their homes so I can get out to the toy stores before everybody else, because I ain't afraid
That's
of no
right.
germs.
Oh my gosh.
So
Yeah.
Brick
I mean,
is
I
correcting
catch
me.
it.
Brick is correcting me on the fact that that is not a Madeline Pryor. That is a Jean for that box set. But she's a clone, so it doesn't matter.
It is.
But it is. It's a Jean. It's not a
matters.
Madeline, so
I
the
want
characters
Goblin
matter.
Queen, man. I wanted that Goblin Queen. I was like really mad.
I agree with you, Thanos Copter. I'm in the medical field as well. And please,
No,
please.
okay,
Don't make my job
fine.
any
When you
more
put it that way, no. All right, fine.
Oh,
Yes.
man. I'm sorry to hear that, Thanos.
Why did you have to make it so real all of a sudden, Thanos Copter? Everyone stay safe out there.
That's
God,
right.
now I gotta-
Yep.
Please stay
Be
safe.
good.
Yeah, we all had COVID here, and I get the COVID brain. That's why I can't think of names sometimes. It's just.
There we go.
It might be COVID brain, but I also think it's just that I'm in my late 40s.
There. I'm safe now.
Oh, there you
We're
go.
all
There
protected.
you go. Nice.
There it is.
Where's my better mask, though? That's not even the good one that I like to put on. I wanted to put a
I got a
smile on
trap
my
jaw
face.
one.
Oh,
I've got a
It's in my
Cheshire
car.
cat mask that I say it says we're all mad here. It's that big grin. I just can't find where I put it. Oh well. For
are we
another
all
time,
looking for
then.
masks? Look for masks.
We're
Yeah.
all looking for our masks.
All right, guys. I think that makes it a show. Ending on masks.
Yeah.
But thank you so much, Oz and Bobby. I look forward to talking to you guys every week. You're the best.
Yeah.
And I want to thank everybody that showed up in the chat. And I just want to quickly, a nod to Brick Something, Gamer Bud, and Motu Origins Cork for being Skelevator patrons. I appreciate it greatly. thank you all so much for all your positive messages. After having a look at my artwork this week, it really made me feel good, like I'm doing something fun and doing something exciting. Thanks so much for being here. Oz, Bobby, anything you want to say?
I'm sorry I didn't talk much tonight. I didn't know too much about the subject, so I was more learning and getting into what you guys were
you and me
saying.
both. You and me both, brother.
But as always, thanks to everybody, and same to Origins Corp and GamerBud for being my patrons this week. It's it hits me good. Yeah, it's a nice thing.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and you too, Skelly, of course.
Yep, and I gotta turn around and certainly say the same myself, because as you all know, again, GamerBud, Motu Origins Corp, both, they're also a Patreon of mine. Skele Vader, thank you so much for joining. Gosh, and then I've also got Danny Phillips. He's joined as well. So
Nice.
thank you. I mean, all that extra support helps pay for all the upgrades we're doing across, getting and upgrading our StreamYard, helping me, keep going now, and putting that extra money right back into the show for you guys, so that we can just make a better product for you guys. We absolutely love it. So thank you all for being patrons of our channels and really helping to support it. It's fantastic. I love it. Absolutely love it. And Dole, thank you again for jumping on with us, man. Really, really appreciate it. It's nice having a someone else who's very passionate as well about the X-Men, and especially that era of X-Men in the early 90s and 2000, leading through the 90s all the way through, because Toy Biz just completely dominated the
They did
comic book toy world through that decade. So it was really cool. And again, thank you, Skelly, for sharing that with us. And I know he already left the chat for the night as he had to skedaddle earlier. But HP Brownsoft Craft, thank you for the donations so that we could have such a cool, fun episode like this and take a huge walk down memory lane with so many of the iconic figures that I remember growing up with and loving at the time.
Big, huge thanks to HP Brownsaucecraft, man. Just by simply making that donation, you allowed us to have almost doing a 2.5 hour conversation tonight, and about the X-Men and about all kinds of other related things. So thank you so much, HP. Really appreciate it. And he said he's gonna drop the movie Saurians by. So see about getting that digitized so I can share it with you all.
So you have to have to rig up rig a VHS really up to a DVD-R so you can rip the movie from the VHS to a DVD to rip it to a computer. And
I just put the TV back here and just show the VHS on there. And
that
Ryan,
would be fun.
Ryan, thank you so much, man. And I'm definitely going to be watching tomorrow night. Do everything I can to watch tomorrow night because I'm excited about you talking about this new DC news. So.
And by the way, I did pre-order my 275 X-Men figs. I ordered them from ecollectibles.ca. So if you're Canadian, that is your Canadian supplier if that's what you want to use. So if you have an order, I think over $150, you get free shipping. Plus, if you use the code Toying Around, which is another channel my buddy Kevin runs, you get an additional 5% off your order. So I'm just going to give him a quick little plug there too.
Cool.
Absolutely.
Nice.
So, Jay, there you go. Trying to make it a little bit more affordable for you, sir. And Nolan, if you're interested, Nolan, you and Ray Black, there you go, guys. For all of our friends across the northern border, Ryan Dole's got the hookup for you to let you know where to get your figs a little bit cheaper because we know they are expensive up there.
Yeah.
Given that.
Thank you, Megan.
Yep.
I want to see one night what we should probably do. We should get Toy Connections. We'll get Jay. We'll get Ryan. and then we'll have some of us down here from the U.S. and we'll just go kind of a completely international toy frenzy. You know, friends across the borders or something like that. We'll come up with a neat idea for it and have a real fun, you know, just mashup. You know, all North American.
Sounds fun.
Sure.
Good idea. Good idea.
Don't know what we'll talk about yet, you know, because I feel like it'll be you guys complaining about the price of your toys up there, and us will all sheepishly weep our heads as we all complain about the price of toys here, and it's just not nearly as bad for us as it is for you guys right now. So.
I know.
Oh man.
The last comment that I want to show tonight, Thanos Copter earlier on at 8:24 p.m. PST, he posted this in the chat. Archive.org has a copy of Saurians, so we don't have to worry about transferring it to VHS or any of that. But so you can watch it there apparently. So thank you, Thanos Copter, for doing that little extra bit of research and finding that for us.
Cool.
So you heard it here, folks. You're about to have your minds blown when you watch that movie. Thank you all so much. Oh, yeah, Toys R Us. For sure.
Love it.
Yeah, you guys can definitely always flex on us with that.
Yeah.
Wah, wah.
And
It is.
this
Toys
is
R
why
Us is like the most expensive retailer right now in Canada by far. It's bonkers.
when it came to toys, they were pretty much the most expensive retailer down here in the USA, which is why we don't have Toys R Us anymore.
Yeah, they never had a sale. They never went sales. No sales.
Like when they first started closing down and clearancing out their stock, I remember going in and looking at a lot of stuff and being like, oh, hey, look, it's the same price as what I can pay for it at Walmart now.
Yeah.
And that was the clearance price.
I still miss the store. Though.
I do miss the atmosphere of walking into a Toys R Us.
I don't miss working there, though. I can tell you that.
The smell. I miss the smell.
Right.
Is the smell? I wonder if the smell.
That must have been the one that you walked into.
I was gonna say the smells of the stores are different when you work in them versus when you just walk into them.
Yeah. I can imagine. Oz, you said you worked at GameStop before, right?
Yep, almost a whole decade of my life.
Every time I go to GameStop, that's a different kind of smell.
I gotta tell you, it was almost a different kind of smell every day working at GameStop, depending on who walked through my door.
Depending on what you ate that day, too.
Oh God, we had this one older gentleman, and I'm not going to drop his name, but for any of my old GameStop fam that's watching and remember, all I got to say is Ben Gay and shame.
Nice.
Oh yeah,
that's a smell.
Yeah, that's a cologne. You can buy it at Rite Aid right now.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I think Mega J's actually talking about new toy smell as the
that
smell
is
of
the
victory.
smell of victory for sure.
Not Ben Gay and shame.
Ben Gay.
That's part of that addiction to nostalgia I was talking about earlier.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. We have definitely been conditioned.
Sure.
I mean,
Well,
we used to sit there and watch a 3-hour block of half-hour-long toy commercials every Saturday morning while eating sugary cereal. How could we not be conditioned?
Right.
Oh.
That's true.
You know, hey, Clockwork Orange, folks.
That's right.
Yeah, right.
Almost.
It's a great movie.
I got the eye drops ready.
There we go.
Well, let's say goodnight, folks. I think this has been a really exciting episode. I'm stoked. I learned a lot. Bobby and I learned a lot listening to Oz and Ryan talk about this. And thank you all so much for being here watching with us. The chat is still blowing up over there, which is awesome. Yes, Ben Gay smell, not victory. I know. And shame. Don't forget the shame part of that.
That's right. That's
Don't
right.
forget the
It's
shame part of
Bengay and shame.
It's like
And
that Three's
that
Company.
smell.
That Three's Company episode where Larry asked that old lady, "What's that perfume you're wearing?" She's like, "It's Ben K."
That's right. That's right. Oh man, I love old TV shows.
So do I.
Yes.
I watch them all the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, folks. Well, Ryan, thanks again for being here. Everybody, thanks for being in the chat. Oz, Bobby, thank you so much for making this show what it is. And yeah, we'll see you in the next video.
Yep.
Yes.
See y'all,
See you, everybody.
everybody.
Have a good one.